Buff Nation, what's going on? It's your man's Harry Billion. All my BWBs out there, hope all is well. How y'all doing today? I hope everybody's doing well today. Thank you so much for joining me tonight, guys. This is TLP. You are actually watching TLP Sports Club. This is TLP Live Monday Night Football, and I'm your host, Harry Billion. So thank you for joining me. Colorado, our team, if you are a fan of the Colorado Buffaloes or a fan of Deion Sanders, this here is the channel for you to watch. And I want to say thank you for joining me. So the season is almost here. August is almost here. This is July 29th. The season is right around the corner. And Colorado Buffaloes just had their first practice on July 29th. And this is the start of the fall practices. So right after this, we go right into the season. After this fall practices or after the fall practices, we go right into the season. Colorado has a few, I don't know if there are questions remaining. Apparently, well, not necessarily apparently, but the team asked themselves the question, what's going to stop you? Coach Prime is asking the guys, what is going to stop you? And the answer to that is going to be themselves, all right? Right now, Colorado is only going to stop themselves. So does that mean that Colorado has everything that it needs to start the season? We're going to explore some of those answers. Last time we was here, we looked at some of those answers. This time we get to look a little deeper, or we get to look again, and we look at different positions. All right. Now, there has been interviews. We're gonna listen to a few of the interviews, but we're gonna look at some of the starters in different positions on this show. And guys, in order for you if you want to join the show tonight, the screen right there on your screen, at the top of your screen, right here, join tlplive@gmail.com. That is the email that you call in. You email me, I send you a link. You come onto the show, guys, and then we discuss what we are discussing on the show. But the first practice, the video's out. Well Off Media has put out their video. There's been different interviews that's actually been aired. We're going to go ahead and dissect a few of those. You know what we do here on this show? We looked into, you know what I'm saying? We read between the lines and we try to understand what's going on with the team as much as we can. And if you want to join that discussion, make sure to join me by emailing me, jointlplive@gmail.com. That is the email to join. All right. Hey, Campbell, what up with you? Hope all is well. Thank you for joining me tonight. Make sure to hit that like button. So let's talk about it. There are questions. I would say there are a few questions because first of all, the new O-line we have not seen play. We have a few freshmen that have joined the team. A lot of guys have left the team, or a lot of guys left the team, and now we have a totally new team. But Colorado has a new energy. What does that energy look like? What does that energy feel like? The young men everybody's saying it. If you ask questions, whether it's the old heads, the old buffs, right? The OG buffs that was here before. You ask the guys, you ask Shador, you ask anybody, there's a new energy. What is that energy that they're talking about? All right. Are they talking about guys really trying to do better? Or, I mean, was it really that better? Is it really that different? I don't know for sure, but I think I have an idea what they're really trying to say. Because last year was a different spirit in the room or with the team. This year, the spirit on the team, they're saying that at the end of the day, the guys wanted more. Do they really want it more? Or is that something that everybody says before the season starts, and then after the season starts, that all of that dissipates once you get smacked in the mouth a few times? Because it's football we're talking about. So when you get smacked in the mouth a few times, do we start believing? Do we start believing in ourselves? What is that about? But I think that energy that they're talking about, I think that has a lot to do with the fact that guys wanted a lot more. And I'm here for all of that. Because at the end of the day, when you're looking at Colorado football, Colorado football is the number one team that everybody's talking about. So all of the changes, everything that Coach Prime is doing has to be sped up, pretty much. All right. As much as we talk about giving grace and we talk about, hey, he needs time to develop 3 to 5 years, as much as we would like for that to be the truth, I think at the end of the day, we're looking at Coach Prime to circumvent all of that and speed up his process, because we don't grade him the same way. He said it himself. All right. His wins are not the same wins, or not the same as other teams. He doesn't have the same grace that other first-time coaches have. So, and some of that he brings on himself, and he loves the challenge. And we said, okay, fine. That's why some of us like him, because he's not afraid to make bold statements and to have these, bold, I guess, expectations you may. So we take the expectations, we evaluate them, and we say, okay, we know that he can do it, or we think he can do it, and these are the reasons why he can do it. So that energy has a lot to do with the reasons why we believe here at TOP Sports Club that Colorado is going to go 8-4 this year, and it could be more. All right. I don't think that that's a conservative record. I think that's a pretty hefty thing to do in year 2. You're coming from 1-11, you go 4-8, and adding 4 more games, which Vegas is not giving you at all. I don't say that's conservative. Some people would like to say that's kind of conservative. You're playing it safe. Nah, to win 8 games, coming from where they're coming from, having mostly transfer players, I think that's a lofty goal, but I believe that they have the players to make it happen. Now, they could definitely exceed the expectations that TLP Sports Club has. If they exceed the expectations, there's not much more to go. All right. Where do you go from 8, right? It's either going to be 10 or undefeated. You only got 12 games. So 8 games is a really good season for Colorado to put up. You put up 8, you get a lot of the haters from behind your back trying to, talk about you. They're going to give you a little bit more respect. It ain't going to change a whole lot, but it's going to be way better than the first year, the second year. So that's what 8 does. 8 gives you a lot more respect, and a lot of us guys like myself, we want to have a football conversation. All right, we want to have more football conversations. I'm so tired of Jimmy Horn Jr. and his snowflake, and his snow bunny girlfriend, the little stories that Deion Sanders is not a real coach. And all of those videos that get views, and we love that stuff. We love all the messy stuff. But I want to know what it's like to have a real conversation, a real football conversation where Colorado is being taken seriously, and we can say, all right, now it's time for us to evaluate the players, and the other teams that Colorado is playing, other people are now going to be held accountable for evaluating them the right way. Because what I will tell you, that you don't get that. You're like, okay, anytime somebody speaks about, or the bigger platforms, whether it's friendly or it's not, they don't treat it fairly. So what we're doing is we're taking a lot of what Coach Prime is capable of, and we're kind of saying, okay, here. But I mean, we've done the CBS, we've done the CBS predictions. A lot of the predictions are not based on, I would say, I don't know if they're able to really look at what the data is and tell you the truth. I feel like they miss a lot of that because it's Colorado. You know what I'm saying? It's easy to just say Colorado will not win and then just leave it like that. It's easy to just say, okay, put them here because of X, Y, and Z, and then that's it. But what if Coach Prime really goes up and really goes in there in 2024 and put up 8 games, right? Win a ball game and then it's 9. Now, teams or analysts are going to be forced to actually do their homework. They're going to be forced now to actually have this football talk, and they're going to have to evaluate the teams and say, well, let's look at Utah, who they got. I'm still waiting. I'm waiting for these guys to really go in there and really say, you know what? Okay, Colorado has this and this, and now we can't just say Porter babies, right? It's like saying other things that, you go into the political field. Oh, Kamala Harris is a DEI hire, and that's just it. We're too lazy to do our homework, so we don't want to really look at any record. It's just like, oh, that's a DEI hire. We just leave it at that. Oh, Colorado's gonna suck because they suck. That's it. That's lazy. That's laziness. And when you are an analyst, I hold you accountable, like especially the ones that people have come to respect in the game. I just find it, maybe it's just me. Maybe it's just me. But I find it lazy when you got respectable analysts and they don't know how to like give you real good conversation. They don't know how to like add to the conversation. It's mostly like Colorado's gonna suck just because they suck. And now you're like, well, you're not really helping me. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I really look forward to football conversation, but you didn't really help me at all. All you said was Colorado's going to suck, and that's it. And that stuff is lazy, and I don't like it. So, but anyways, guys, join the conversation. We're about to get deep into it. We're going to talk about wins and losses, who starts, who's not. I think the starters are pretty much a shoe-in. I know Coach Prime said something in one of the meetings that some of the guys are out of shape, but come on, I don't care if you're out of shape like day one and you're dealing with the altitude. You went back to your hometown, you came back, you know what I'm saying? Now you're a little bit slow. After a couple of days, those guys are going to be right back. So that ain't going to change nothing. And then we got some news that one of the transfer guys who was here for a couple of months, he stated that he's retiring from football. So like, I'm like, okay, he's retiring from football. So that's supposed to be the biggest news that came out. I didn't do a video on it, but I'm like, you're not going to get me again. I'm sitting there thinking like, nah, you're not getting me again. All right. Like, and the headlines, the way that they wrote the headline was like, this is a really big blow to Colorado football because one of the offensive linemen who transferred in, oh my gosh, he's retiring from football. How does a college student retiring from football really affect a football program? I mean, I don't even know that they were projected to be a starter. Anyways, let's talk about all of that. Let me get myself together here, and we're gonna go a lot deeper than this. Let's go. Oh man, give me a moment, guys. Let me queue up some of these things. Let me make sure I got everything connected. All right, so the first thing on the menu, I'll give you this just for the fact that I guess if you want to call it, it is some type of news, but I don't see that as any type of news. Y'all let me know in the chat. Did y'all hear that somebody retired? Like, did somebody do a video? I didn't check some of the other channels to see who really put a video out there for that we got somebody retired. Y'all let me know if y'all heard anything in the chat. That's interesting. I want to know if y'all saw any breaking news that Colorado actually had an offensive lineman retire from football. So y'all let me know before I share this information with y'all. Y'all let me know because I want to know if anybody did the video, if anybody took the bait. Oh my God, man. Y'all should be proud of me. I did not take the bait this time, okay? I said, nah, I'm not taking the bait. Breaking news. Somebody about to retire from football. Like, retire from football. Like, what is this about? So I want to know, did y'all hear it? I'm not gonna give you the name yet. Let me know if y'all heard that that one of the Colorado players retired from football. before I share this with you. I want to see if y'all saw any breaking news, or was I just late on this? Oh man. KMS, what's up? Surfer boy 3,000. I'm about to say 1,000. I'm about to downgrade your surfer board license. What's up with y'all, man? I look like T-Pain. I know. I can't get away from looking like T-Pain. And now I'm closer. I don't know if y'all noticed, but I changed my studio. So now I'm actually closer in front of y'all. Y'all can see me a lot more now. So I'm definitely going to look like T-Pain. Transfer from Michigan State. Oh, you got it. KMS. Man, you pay attention to the daggone team, boy. Whew. Can't get nothing past you. That's what's up, though. Yeah, you did. You got it. You got it. That's for sure. All right, so let's share this information. Let me take this stuff off my screen so you can see more clearly. All right, so let's go ahead and get this on tape, guys. All right, who is Ethan Boyd, and why did he retire just 2 months after committing to Deion Sanders? So now look how it look. I use this. This is essentially sports. I use their articles sometimes, but this one I felt like they were reaching, so I was like, nah, y'all messing around. Stop playing. With a blow to Coach Prime's offensive line, O-line Ethan Boyd decided to retire early from football. The former Michigan State tackle committed to Sanders, Colorado, in April, within 48 hours of entering the transfer portal. So he was 6'7", 320 pounds. We could have definitely used that. All right. He recorded 313 snaps on offense at right tackle in 12 games for the Spartans. Out of which he started in 3. All right. And so yeah. So if you so yeah, I mean, I don't know that was a huge blow. And what up, Prime Effect 101? I don't know that that's a huge blow. That doesn't. This is Michigan State. If y'all don't know Michigan State is their former coach who was fired for some mischievous stuff was Mel Tucker. Mel Tucker was a former Colorado coach who left. And the whole reason why Coach Prime is here is because of Mel Tucker. He was the coach of Michigan State. All right, not to be confused with the Michigan that just won the national title. Okay, but yeah, so we lost an offensive lineman. This is not a huge blow, and according to KMS 929 or just KMS, right? That 929. I don't know if that's a thing, but anyways, so I guess he was injured. Wait a minute, KMS, you saying that the team looked great out there today? They're going to they're going 12-0. Stop playing with me, KMS. Stop playing with me, okay? Oh man, like that. Come on now, like let's get serious, okay? Stop playing. 12-0 because of one practice, and you're like, oh, those boys look. Did you see any tape of any of the other teams in the Big 12? We can't just be getting excited and be like, oh yeah, they look so good. We're going straight 12-0. We're not going to do that. That's irresponsible. We're not doing that around here, okay? Stop playing with me. We're not doing that around here. Okay. So that's the first news that we okay, so we lost an offensive lineman. I don't know if any of the other creators were really, heavy on that. So if they were, great. If they weren't, it is what it is. But let's go ahead and let's go ahead and show some of this practice here, because I think the practice is KMS is right. I did see a lot of chippiness at the practice, and I thought that was pretty, it was a different energy. I agree with some of the stuff that they're talking about as far as energy is concerned, but it was definitely, it was definitely KMS. You played around. it was definitely a different energy at the practices, and I think Colorado's going to be good. I ain't gonna hold you. I think Colorado will be good, but I'm not going as far as, but we're not 12-0. Okay, that's you got to be able to like compare it to other things that's going on. It's just not like, oh, we're 12-0. All right, we're not just 12-0 because these guys look good. That's irresponsible. You be playing around. Let's not be irresponsible. So let's look at some of this stuff. Let's evaluate a little bit of what's going on around here on the practice. And then, you know what I'm saying? Then we'll take it from there. We'll talk more about, like, you know, who we think look better than others, blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. Phil So Real, welcome to the show, brother. I thank you for calling in. Appreciate you, brother. How you doing today?
Hey man, what's going on, man? I'm making it, man. It's Monday, starting the week, man. Trying to get to it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hey, I'm gonna play this audio real quick. Let me see. Tell me if you hear this audio, because last time I tried to. Do you hear this audio?
Yeah, it's coming through. I hear the whistle blowing on.
Oh, okay. I don't know. What's that? Bucky is always playing around. Like,
He is.
Bucky is.
He need to lock in and get focused and
I know.
get this video out here shucking and jiving.
I know. He's talking about with that clapping noise when you be jumping up and down. Like, stop playing, Bucky, man. That is so silly. So did you have an opportunity to watch this today?
Yeah, I had it on this background noise, so I saw it. You know, I did kind of make note of some things that caught my attention, but I can't sit here and say that like I really just sat down and just was locked in. But I definitely saw it.
Okay. Yeah, so I mean I saw it, and the boys are looking good. You know, like, okay, so let's contrast it from last year, right? What happened last year, or what about this time last year we were getting memes on, you know, we were getting memes about them looking small. What do you see? Do you think they still look small, or do you feel like they got way bigger and they look more like grown men nowadays? Now.
I can't speak for the entire team, but I will say something that stood out to me is Will Shepherd is huge. He looks massive.
Right.
I definitely will say that. But as far as the team, like I didn't really see anything that stood out specifically, but I think that could be a good thing. Maybe the fact that they did stand out is looking smaller goes to show that they look just like everybody else, so to speak. So maybe that's a good thing.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, even I said it last year when I was watching this. It was like I wanted to see some grown men, because when you watch the big guys, when you watch the bigger teams, right, the brand name teams, the Clemsons and the Alabamas, and when you see those guys, when they do put out video every now and then, when they do put out a video, you see those guys walking around with their helmets off, and they're walking to practice, and you see them, they look like somebody's dad, right?
Yeah.
But when we saw Colorado, it was like, you got a little concern last year. You were like, yeah, we look kind of small. We look like babies out here. And if
We
we
call
start,
that a little light in the breeches.
he said, a little light in the bridges.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, it looked really small last year. Compared to this year, I'm impressed with this year.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think that there are uh, the best is yet to come for Colorado. I think they're definitely moving in the right direction. I'm looking forward as we continue to move through fall camp. I'm really interested to see who gets more. I'm gonna say first team rep, but I'm gonna just put it like this. I'm interested in seeing who is on the field when Shedeur is on the field on offense, because that's gonna tell you everything you need to know about the first team.
Let's listen a little bit to this Coach Prime, and you know, psyching the boys out. Let's listen a little bit.
I don't know how nobody can be late. When you anticipating this? Back in the day, I used to have that thing laid out the night before. They going on sale. They gonna be sold out. Yeah. Don't say anything. But for you right there. You right there. It's at me. You, the one that did like to me, I got a pair for you. I'm gonna send it to you. Amen.
So Coach Prime, like, okay, you can tell like Coach Prime is having fun, right? Coach Prime, I mean, I don't know if anybody loves football more than this guy. This dude really, really loves this thing, and I think it makes a difference. You know,
Yeah, you gotta love it. You gotta be really passionate about it, because especially being a college football coach.
let's listen to this.
When you
Sure.
anticipating it, back in the day, I used to have that thing laid out the night before. Having the outfit laid out, having uniform already ready. Couldn't wait to get in it.
You can hear it, right?
It's a little low, but I can hear it. If you can turn it up a little bit more, maybe people in the chat can hear it better.
All that hype is on there, right? When I say how you feel, you say fired up. When I say how you feel, then you say do. How you feel? How you feel? How you feel? How you feel? Let's take this hood and everything. We ain't out here for an hour, fellas. I'm taking care of you. So I need you to take care of me. Yes, sir. All right?
There you go. Much
Everything
better.
full speed. Hold each other accountable. Everything full speed. Light skin. Break them down, baby. What's your light skin? You scared? All my skin? Okay.
He said, "I'm light skinned. You darker than me."
That's work on three. Work on three. 1, 2, 3.
A lot of people don't know this.
All right, so yeah, man. So like, go ahead with that, because I was thinking about like as far as like just the fact that Coach Prime is just the fact that Coach Prime just loves this. Like, I feel like it makes a big difference because he's like a kid in the candy store out there when it comes to this here football thing. You know, go ahead.
Yeah, I think more than just loving the game of football, I really do think that Dion just loves being out there with the guys, being out there with young men, and trying to be a shepherd of young men. So I think that's a whole nother added layer for why he loves the job that he does, or why he's so energetic behind the job. Because I really do think he does care about turning boys into men more than anything.
I mean, he catches a lot of flack, but I think people kind of steer away from that. Okay, so let's say he wasn't such a firebrand, right? He wasn't such a controversial figure. Do you think people would give him more credit to the fact that he loves his job, number one, and then he also his standards, right? Let me go all the way there for a second, right? The fact that he's a black man and black men in the media are not really, you know what I'm saying? We don't get the rap, or they don't get the rap of good father, you know, being, you know, I guess the type of leaders that when they talk about leadership, black men are not necessarily all given credit. Do you think Coach Prime would get more if he wasn't such a controversial person? The fact that he's like, the new chancellor just came in, right? The new chancellor just came in, and he says one of the highlights of one of the highlights out of when he was talking with Coach Prime is the fact that Coach Prime cares so much, and he actually talks a lot more. He talked a lot more about making sure the young men got what they needed outside of football. Do you think Coach Prime would get more credit for that if he wasn't such a firebrand guy?
No, he wouldn't get as much credit for it because we wouldn't know anything about it.
You said he would or he wouldn't?
He wouldn't get as much because we wouldn't be talking about him as much.
Oh,
so like if he for
that's
example,
a good point.
Marcus Freeman, any accomplishment that he has as far as, you know, graduation rate, you know, I don't know, guys married on the team with kids settling down, I don't know, insert whatever positive thing that a coach should be doing. He can be doing all those things, but because he's Marcus Freeman, he's not a fire starter, we're not going to be talking about him as much. So I think, unfortunately, you know, with the Dion tax, you know, he's always going to get a little bit more attention, for better or for worse, than others for the most simple and basic things at times.
So basically, you're okay. So you're saying it's a two-edged sword, right? Like we're talking about him because he's the bombastic firebrand type guy, and if you're that, then the Dion tax is going to kick in, and we're not going to give you everything. You're not going to get all these flowers, right? You're going to get hated on at a certain extent, and we're going to overlook the other. That's a good point that you just made. That's a really good point.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, the good is even greater. The bad is even worse. You know what I'm saying? Like, whatever it is always going to be moved, you know what I'm saying, 1 or 2 ticks the opposite, or, you know, in that direction. You know, just like last year with the whole not wearing red against Nebraska, or, you know, playing the other team's fights on that practice. It's like, oh man, Colorado's doing this, Colorado's doing that. But those are things that other schools have been doing for years.
Mm-hmm.
So it looks like he's doing something special when he's really not. It's just the fact that we get to see so much of it because, I mean, let's just keep it a book. Like, it is interesting to look at Colorado, talk about Colorado, see the information they put out. So, yeah.
So yeah, I mean, the fact, I mean, I think it's obvious, but the thing is, like I said, I think on a couple of shows back, he just makes it look sexy. You feel me? Even though somebody, like, people did put like the social media handles on jerseys before him, when he did it, you know, you got to give him that too, right? Because the person that did it before was not the Deion Sanders firebrand, right? And they weren't being talked about. So when he did it, everybody talked about it, right? So that's part of the Deion tax. You feel me? So we got to give him that. As you're looking at the players right here, DB3 TIP or TLP, whatever that is. If you saying DB3 tip, pause on that.
I think it's tilt.
It's tilt?
Tip.
Oh, it's tip.
TIP, yeah.
All right, so
yeah, that's Travis. That's, by the way, that's Welch, the freshman running back. He every time I saw him running the ball in practice, Shedeur was the quarterback of the offense.
Oh, so that's important. That's important to note.
It's just something. It's something I noticed. So I'll just say that much.
So hold up. Let's look at some of this running, because I saw. A couple of the run plays that I saw, I don't know. Was that Welch? Was that the same guy?
I saw Welch and I saw Charlie Arfidal a lot. Those were the 2 guys I saw the most, or that I remember seeing the most.
Bro, stop playing. I didn't tell me that stocky light-skinned dude I saw was not Charlie Arfidal, because I thought that was the light-skinned black guy. The way he was running.
What number was he?
Hold up. We got to look at this, man. You said you saw Charlie, but I didn't see Charlie. If you saw Charlie, then that means I was looking at Charlie thinking he was a black kid.
If you have it on the screen right now, I'm not looking at the screen right now, so I'm not sure. But I know earlier when I was looking at it, I did see Charlie at least once or twice out there.
Okay, so no, I have it on the screen right now, and I think Charlie's going to come up, because I want to evaluate some of these plays. Charlie's going to come up. I don't know what one thing about Travis, he always, like, you know, his routes are always looking crisp. So you can't really say much. You know, it's hard to take away from Travis, because it's like,
yeah, that boy Shepard right there. That he a cheat code, man. He's gonna be interesting.
Yeah. It's like, you know, to have him on our team, and then they'll have Shedeur. Yo, Shedeur is looking nice, bro. I'm telling you.
Oh, real quick, Harry. One thing I'll point out right here.
Yes, sir.
I think this is actually when he says it, but Jimmy Horn Jr. was like, "Yeah, we had this last year."
Yeah.
So like even the players are noticing, you know, some differences in the way the team looks this year compared to last year. So,
exactly.
That's a good sign.
Yes, it was in this video when he said that, and I saw that, and I was like, yeah, I'm paying attention, and the players themselves are saying it. You know, sometimes it's like, you know, they'll say certain things and it feels like they're just kind of going through the motions of what people say pregame or preseason. But the players are just naturally coming out and just saying stuff, and this stuff is getting out there, and I'm like, I feel like they're right.
I always go based off of what people say, like in moments when they're forgetting that they're being recorded.
Yeah,
you know, like it's a difference when you say that during the interview. You're sitting down talking to Joel Klatt or Josh Pate or Skip Bayless or whoever. But
Mhm.
when you kind of saying it in passing at practice, and they're already used to the cameras, so it's not like they're
It's
gonna
not
act
forced.
different. Yeah, yeah, exactly. You know what I'm saying? So like they're used to seeing the cameras, and I'm pretty sure, like we've said before, we see maybe 5%, 10% max of what actually goes on. So they're gonna be comfortable and loosey goosey with it and say how they feel. So the fact that he said that, and the fact that Bucky kept it in, I think that says everything you need to know about Colorado football coming in this year. They're going to be better. Than, I don't know what their record's going to look like, but I definitely think that the product that we're going to see on the field is going to be exponentially better than what it was last year.
Yo, okay, look, I'm about to get controversial a little bit, right? But look, I'm gonna say this. I'm noticing that these guys look like the hood dudes that play football that I'm used to. Like, okay, I went to UNC Greensboro. When I went to A&T games, like you saw different looking. Like these dudes look like they look different. They look more black this year. I'm sorry, but I'm telling you, like this is what okay. So I'm from PG County. These guys are looking like PG County black right now.
So here's the thing. I usually would indulge in this type of conversation, but I can be very hyperbolic
Uh-huh.
with it.
Uh-huh.
So I'm going to be the mature person and not
You go.
not go in.
Nah,
But
come on,
trust
man.
me,
Hey, go there with
I
me.
have
Let's pretend nobody's watching. Let's have a Negro conversation real quick. But we're not gonna get too racist. Nah, but like, bro, I'm telling you, this look like hood black.
no. I mean, like let's be honest. Like it really does. Now I don't think. Not I want to be very clear. Like I know we're being silly and stuff, but like I don't think that necessarily equates to the team being more successful.
No.
But
That's not what it means.
right, but let me finish my point. But I do think that the overall attitude of the team is going to look a lot different.
Mm-hmm.
You know
That's what I wanted to say.
Yeah, but look though, I need the perfect balance of the guys that you're talking about that you're seeing, and then like the governor or whoever the guy name is, and like and Charlie Arfordal, like you need that perfect blend of like just straight up hood, you know what?
Yeah.
And then you know what I'm saying, your country
we're
boys.
Gonna get in so much trouble right now.
Or as they call them, your gym rats.
Yo, okay. Let me bring on Warren G real quick, because let me see if he understands what I'm saying. Hey, Warren G, welcome to the show, brother. We're going crazy right now, but welcome to the show. I appreciate you calling on.
My check, yeah, my crispy. Salute to you. Thank you for allowing me on your panel, bro. Everybody and brother, I didn't catch your name. Salute to you. Everybody in the chat, salute. Please like, subscribe, and share this brother's content. Let's get the algorithms up. Let's go. Let's get it.
Hey, Warren G, let me. This it sounds a little controversial and a little weird, but do you feel like just let me know? Just tell me the straight up truth. Do you feel like these black dudes look more PG County hood than last year's black dudes? Like these guys are real black football players. I don't know how another way to articulate this.
So,
oh man, I don't want to get in trouble.
Yeah, I think it's I think they. I don't know, man. I'm still trying to get the feel for Colorado's atmosphere as far as when it comes to race, you know. So far it's just been good vibes. So far so good, you know. With us being over there with, you know.
No. I'm not trying to do that race thing, right? But what I'm trying to say, this is what I'm trying to say. When you like, I don't know where you grew up, but like where I grew up, you know, I kind of grew up in different hoods, right? I grew up in a hood in North Carolina. Austin hood, and I grew up in PG County hood. So I kind of know hood, right? and then I moved to Brooklyn, so I know hood dudes, right? I don't want to say the N-word, but I know hood dudes, right?
Ninja.
I feel
Ninja.
like, right, like the hood dudes that I grew up around that play football, you look in their eyes, you can tell that they about that life, and it hit different, right? I'm just trying to just have a loose conversation to say I feel like I see these dudes and I look in their eyes, they're giving me PG County Brooklyn black dude hood football players. I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to articulate.
I get it. Yeah. I get that feel too. I'm from Chi.
Okay. All right.
I'm from Chi. I'm from Chicago, so I
Okay,
get that
then you
feel
should know
too.
what I'm talking about.
Yeah. I know exactly what you're talking about. But you know, when you come out the hood, you go outside your environment, your mind is just a little bit different, you know,
Yeah,
even though you still got that hood in you. But
yeah.
you know, I've been over Germany and stuff like that, and when I was in the military, so my mind has shifted to a different perspective. But yeah, I get where you're coming from. Yeah, you can call it that. I would call it
Okay.
that.
All
That's
right.
fair. That's fair assessment.
Okay, cool. Now that we Phil and Warren G, now that all of us are on the same page, same wave, right? The way that these guys play, right? These hood dudes, right? These different problem effects saying they call them dogs. Nah, it's a lot because you can have your suburban dogs, but what I'm talking about is what Phil Solomon talked about last year. He said we went to Compton and we got some brothers who can play. They weren't necessarily worried about nobody, Nebraska or nothing like that. There was some headhunters and they hit different. They were hungry. They were a little, their hunger was a little different. So I'm trying to articulate that these dudes, when I look into their eyes, I'm like, what I'm seeing is not what I saw last year based on just the neighborhood. And I feel like these dudes are about to be like the Eric B. Enemies. They're about to be like the Solomons, and they're about to be some headhunters. That's just my thoughts, and that's what I'm thinking. Do y'all get the same thing? It doesn't have to equate to wins, but I feel like they're going to hit a little different because they're hungry or low. They're just a little different when it comes to hunger.
Well, I would totally agree with everything that you just said. I'm gonna add this. That's what we need
Uh-huh.
to be real with you. We needed that. You know, whether you come from West Virginia, Florida, Texas, wherever you come from, we need some of that dog in you, that hood in you, that ninja in you to come out. You know, like you
Guys,
on the
so hard
block.
not to say, right?
We need that. We need that.
Yeah,
We need some
yeah.
of that hood that, you know, when you hit the block, you know that person, you know who that person is. And you
Yeah,
just
I
don't
feel
come over
like
there just any old kind of way. You can't just come over there any old kind of way. And
exactly. And Phil,
CSU gonna get caught up. They try to come over there disrespecting, because they're gonna find out real quick. I was looking at
yes.
First Take, right?
Uh-huh.
And this is my sample. I was looking at First Take,
Uh-huh.
and they were showing some of CU's. They were showing Shador getting sacked, and so they
Okay.
showed about 5 or 6 clips. I saw about 5 or 6 people trying to tackle Shador, bring him down, and I did not see one CU in that picture. He was surrounded, like he was covered by 5 or 6 green jerseys. You know, like the Oregon jerseys, you know, and that's all I could see crowned over him in one of those takes that they showed. And I was like, there's not one CU buff player other than Shador getting swallowed up by 5 or 6 guys. And these were big guys. That's not happening this year.
It's not. And that's exactly what I'm trying to say, Phil. Phil, that's what and hey, we can even go all the way there and say, look, they're going to be competitive on a different level, and that could have some other implications. You feel what I'm saying? Like, what this is that Charlie?
Go back.
Yeah, let's go back. Let's analyze some of this. Let's leave these Negroes conversation alone. Let's analyze some of this. But you get what I'm saying. I'm glad I was able to not get in too much trouble. Is that Charlie right here, bro?
Yeah, that's Charlie.
Stop playing with me, bro. That's not Charlie. That's not Charlie running like that.
I mean,
that's Charlie, right?
Yeah, that's Charlie.
Yo, this is Charlie from a whole nother.
Did you catch
keep in mind, real quick. Keep in mind that Colorado in practice doesn't run ones versus ones. They normally run it ones versus the scout team, so like ones versus threes or ones versus twos. So while the fact that he got open might look good, but it could be because
no. Let me tell you what Coach Flea said. Charlie.
Something wrong with your audio.
They got Charlie starting, bro. And Coach Flea said he earned that spot. So
I mean that's great, but I don't know if I put it to you like this. I mean it's a great story, but if we want the best athletes on the field, I don't think Charlie is the best athlete. Now he might be the most sound football player. He might do the job the best. But he's definitely not the most athletic running back in their back.
Well, they said they're gonna have two backs on the field at a time. They said they gonna
hold on, Phil. Slow down, Phil. Watch what? Let's watch. This is Charlie ain't running like no white boy right now. You see what I'm saying?
I didn't say nothing about. I just said most talented. I don't care about his race.
I'm just trying to put it in context, okay? Like I don't know, like Charlie is running like a starter running back, bro.
Yeah, he in the first group, bro. They got him in the first group right now.
I won't hold you. Charlie's running like a starter running back, homie.
And
now he's been doing this.
And Flea said he earned that spot.
Bro, Charlie is running like a
pause it here.
Let me pause it. Go, okay, I'll pause it.
Well, I was trying to see the offensive line. I was trying to see the lineup, who was out there for the offensive line too, because that'll give you a good idea of what's going on as well. And if you look, you had Wester run out on the field, and you had Horn run out on the field. So at least those are your two receivers.
And then the line is all starters. Those are all starters.
So did you see your line?
Just run it back like maybe a half a second, and then
let me. We just saw the line just get up to the Let's see. I think they're about to run out there, and I'll pause it right there. Nah, but Charlie's looking like If that I didn't even know when I saw it, I didn't know that was Charlie. Okay, right there. That's good. That's good.
Now.
Right there.
Right, I'm gonna pull up their roster real quick and see if I can find out what these numbers are real quick.
Okay. Yeah, but like
56. I think 56 is Tyler Brown. I know Tyler Brown. Number 67. I think that's Benson. I think.
These boys look big. I ain't gonna hold you,
56 is Tyler Brown. Let's see, 67.
Who we said 56 is?
56 is Tyler Brown.
66 is Mayer. 67 is Benson.
Yeah. You starters, bro.
Who's that?
Is that Zelinkus? Is that Zelinkus?
Yeah, 58. Yeah, Zelinkus. Yeah.
Yeah, that's Hank Zelinkus. So Hank Zelinkus is on center.
So that means Zelinkus is at center.
Hank Zelinkus is starting.
I'm trying to see if Tyler's gonna be at your right guard or left guard. Can you move it?
He's gonna be left guard. He's supposed to be on left guard.
Okay. Wait, he looked like he just was on the right side of the ball when it was running up to the ball just then.
So okay. So it's looking like what's number what's 77?
Real quick, Tyler's going to the right side of the ball because you see number 66. Mayer is already on the left side, and then you got
77 is Jordan.
Correct. Yeah.
That's the left side, right?
Yeah.
All right, so he's a true starter then. They're gonna start him.
As based off of this, yeah, that's what it's looking like. I mean, obviously it's the first day of practice, but this is probably going to be who they're sold on for the most part.
He made mention of it in the press conference. He made it clear. Charlie starting.
Yeah, man. Look, look. All right, Phil. I know you said he's not the most athletic, so let's go there for a second, right? If he's running like the way he's running and he's not the most athletic, isn't that a really good thing for us?
Yes, sir.
I mean, so
Bruh.
I mean, sure, but you had a guy like Dylan Edwards last year that was running like he was running, was really good. But
Charlie's
didn't
bigger
run
than
well.
Dylan Edwards.
Say that again.
Charlie's way bigger.
Yes, he is bigger, but I think it's fair to say that Dylan Edwards is a better and more talented running back than Charlie Arfidal.
Okay, but Phil, let me challenge you a little bit, and you can feel free to disagree with me, right? But like we talk about the data line, right? Let's talk about the data line real quick. Is it necessary that we have a blazing speed running back, or we have a solid contributing running back? The fact that we have such a dynamic wide receivers core.
But to me, that's kind of an unfair question, because you said, should we have a speed running back or a guy that's just going to do his job? Like those are not. No,
opposite. But okay. Let me qualify a little bit more. Let me put more meat on the bone, right?
Okay.
Okay, he's bigger. He can get hit and not go down, and he still got speed. It's not like we're talking about slow versus faster. We're just talking about just a guy that's just much faster, but he has the regular speed of a good running back. Like Charlie is not a slow running back, right? We're talking about somebody who's just faster in Dylan Edwards, but we're talking about Charlie, who has I would say, a normal speed of a running back, but he's bigger and he can get hit a couple of times and still be upright.
But I guess my point is that nowhere in me
This is
saying
where,
Dylan Edwards
so let me
was
chime
better
in.
did
This
I-
is the
did I
point
say
that
anything
they
about
make it.
speed?
They want somebody that is their.
I think y'all were talking over each other.
I'm sorry. Yeah. So Shador, right, is who they build around, who they work around, and so because of that, they want to make sure that Shador is comfortable with whoever's back there. And right now, Charlie has earned that trust with Shador.
I agree with New Orleans JV that Charlie runs harder. I think Charlie runs harder. When you see him plant his foot, like let's go in with like how running backs are supposed to be lower to the ground, and they're supposed, like when their feet touch the ground when they're running, it seems like if they get hit, right, they're not going to bounce and get thrown off, right? Okay. You know who it reminds me of, and don't quote me on this too much, right? Saquon Barkley. Saquon Barkley, the way he plants his foot and how stocky he is, his running stars is giving me Saquon Barkley. Is that too much?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Maybe he's not a Saquon Barkley because he's a little smaller.
Yeah.
But it's the essence of his style of running. I don't feel like he's gonna get knocked off the ball like Dylan Edwards would, like, easily, because that's what was happening last year.
I don't watch. I haven't seen enough film of Charlie to say who I would compare him to. But like I said, I don't think he's as talented a running back as Dylan Edwards is. Now, if you want to tell me that he's going to be a guy that's just going to go out there and do the job well, then that's a different conversation. But if we're talking about talent, I don't think. Put it like this. I don't think Colorado brought in the players they brought in at running back thinking that these guys are going to be behind Charlie. I think they got them because they want them to be better than Charlie and to be able to bring more to the table than Charlie. So I don't want to take away from him.
We got a good problem here, though.
And cool. And you know what? Cool. If that's your argument, I'm okay with that. All I'm simply saying is Charlie's not the most talented running back in the running back room. I think ultimately that's the point that I'm trying to make.
Yeah, that's facts.
I mean, That's fine.
what
That's
they, what
you know what? I can agree with you and say, and then up the ante and say, yeah, if that's what you're saying, then I'm taking that and I say that's great. I
Yeah,
like the
that's
fact that
all I'm
he's
trying
not
to say.
the okay, good.
So if your quarterback is going to be throwing 70% of the time, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you want him to be comfortable with who's back there, just in case you run into a blocking scheme or who's trustworthy. And right now, based on what Coach Fleet said, um, Shador, it sounds like Shador is comfortable with Charlie. But they also said that they're gonna use two backs. They trying
Who's
to
running
find
right
a
now? Who's that?
perfect two backs.
I don't see
So
them
they put
using two running
Charlie.
backs that often, man. I'm not
Who's
saying they're
28?
not gonna do it.
Hey,
Check out the
Phil,
press
who's
conference
28?
from Coach Fleet. Check out the press conference from Coach Fleet. Now they talking
I'm about to
about
play
doing
the
a
press
whole
conference.
different thing.
But okay, but I'm not saying he didn't say it. My point is, I don't see anything from based off Shermer's offense last year and the spring game. Just off of that small sample size, I haven't seen anything that would make me believe that they're going to be running out of the two back formation more than maybe 3 times a game.
Oh,
Yo,
I'm
I
who's
not
don't
this?
sure.
see
Who's
that
this
happening.
right here? Who's 29?
I think that was 26. That was Welch.
Yeah, Welch is 26, or
Oh,
is he
okay.
20?
I thought that was 29. Just so
I mean, if it was 29, I can tell you who it was. But I thought
that's
it was that is number 29. Let's see.
That's
That
Welch.
would be
26 is Hood. I think 26 is Hood.
no. I'm sorry. 20. Okay, so 29 is Welch,
okay.
and yeah, 26 is Hood. Sorry.
So speaking of Hood, like I saw some stuff on Twitter that he's officially a buff. Or what was I seeing there? Was he not already there?
Yeah, he been there.
Maybe it just means he's like enrolled. Maybe he's like, they've moved in like that kind of quote unquote official. That's probably what
Oh,
they mean by that.
oh okay. Because I was seeing some stuff. They were getting excited. It was like some movement on Twitter. I was like, what's going on? I thought Hood was already, and they're
Yeah,
saying
both of them.
he's the second coming of Travis Hunter.
Coach Hood was interviewed already. We talked. Coach Hood came on the line when.
No, not the coach. I'm talking about Colton Hood.
Yeah, Colton Hood.
Oh, you said
That's what
Colton
he
Hood. You're
said.
not saying Coach Hood. Okay,
No, he
sound
said
like
coach.
oh, okay.
Colton. I'm sorry.
All right, so let's listen to Trevor Woods. You know what? Let's finish these places real quick before we go to Trevor Woods. So right here we go with the who did you say 67 was?
That's Benson.
That's Benson. Yeah.
All right, so Benson's fighting 26. Whoever 26 is.
No, I thought that was Bentley. I thought that was number 20, or is it 26?
No, that's not Bentley. Bentley's not that small. Bentley's a big boy. Bentley is a big boy. That looked like a dude that just got there. Like he about to be
that's
like
number 26. That's Adonis Forrest.
yeah. Adonis look like he about to be. He's at where?
He's a senior.
He's a senior.
Mm-hmm.
Senior looking kind of small there. What is the back of the jersey?
Maybe the weight program in Colorado need to get better.
Yo, but I'm telling you, like I wasn't saying the hood black guy thing to say they're gonna fight more. I'm just saying the attitude.
I will say though that is gonna be part of it. Stuff like that happening.
Well, yeah, that's a good thing, right? Because like, to a certain extent, it's a good thing because I feel like they need to take it personal. Guys were just kind of walking around like, just like Warren G said, bro, like somebody's got your dude. Like, okay, if I'm in the hood and I'm with my boys and somebody jump me, you think I want my boys to be like, yo, man, y'all get off him? Nah, I want my dudes to be there. You know what I'm saying? That's the attitude. It's like it's in that.
I got a question. I got a question though.
Yeah.
Usually in a situation like that, if somebody doesn't jump in to save you, now rock with you like that, right? So what does that say about the offensive line at Colorado last year that they would act like that behind Shador? Not, I mean, it's one thing to get sacked, right? Like, hey, the dude beat me. He got the Shador. It is what it is. But
Mhm.
to not go help him up, like that is a choice. That is a choice. You're choosing to
Yo,
not
who's
do that.
23?
23 on offense. Let's see. That's the Isaiah Augusta kid out of Florida. I think he's the transfer from Arkansas.
That's Isaiah who?
Augusta.
Oh, okay. Is it Augustave or Augustave?
I don't think it's Augustave.
He would be Spanish or something, right?
well, I mean, there's no like accent over the E in his name, so I don't think there's a special
So we're
way
just
you
going with
gotta pronounce it.
Augustave until we hear the announcer say it, right?
Augustive, yeah,
We're
because
going
it's
with Augustave.
August AVE. Augustive is the way I've heard that pronounced.
Okay. So hold up. Alan GH said, is that Alan from Ghana? Alan GH said that was Bentley fighting. I thought Bentley was 20.
Yeah, Bentley's number 20. We just looked it up. We took care of it. It looked like it was number 20, but it was actually number 26.
Right. It wasn't 20 that was fighting. Right?
Correct. It was not. You were right. It was number 26.
Yeah. See, 20 is in that far corner, but he's not the one that punched the dude straight off the top. Like he probably got a little chippy in there. Because I saw him in there in the group, but he was not the one that hit him off top. No, but I mean, like, look, man, I've grew up around the hood. I'm not a hood-minded dude, but I've grew up around the hood so much that there's a certain respect that you get from a hood dude, right? There's a certain respect and a certain, like, there's a certain thing that you expect from a hood dude. First of all, hood dudes, I'm going to tell you this. Hood dudes, they live by a specific code. They live by a different code than dudes that are in the suburbs. Straight up. All right. The code is a little different. The way that they move a little different. So when depending on what situations I'm in, I prefer certain times to be with a hood dude than a dude from the suburbs. Like I would rather have a hood dude around me because I just know that the way that he handles his business when it comes to respect, the code, and just being a man's man, I sometimes prefer a hood dude around me than a dude from the suburbs because I know how they move. You can tell, you know that their yes is going to be a yes, their no is going to be a no. The suburban dude, I can't trust sometimes because sometimes their yes is not a yes and their no is not a no. You feel me? That's just how I that's just how I look at it. But obviously, in a general... Go ahead.
You know what? I understand exactly what you're saying. We move out the hood to get away from hood mentality thinking. So along with that, we want to change how we approach life and how we approach people, how we deal with stuff in the streets. So we move off the street, get away from the streets, because with the hood comes a whole lot of other stuff that you may not want to come with it. You know what I mean? So
yes, but Warren G, listen. When you move out the hood, it gives you a broader perspective of who you were around. You feel me? Like when you start realizing how other dudes move, then you start appreciating some of the characteristics of what you didn't really want, right? Because the dudes, I mean, obviously, there is a violent aspect or thing about some hood dudes. It doesn't always have to be violent. If it only gets violent if you take it there. They're not afraid to take it there if you want to. But hood dudes have respect. They move with respect. As long as you stay in pocket, you stay in your lane, you do what you're supposed to do, and everybody's supposed to do what they do. That's how dogs move anyway. Right? If you do what you're supposed to do, they're not going to just jump out of the... Right. They're not just going to jump out and start fighting. No, it's not like that. But it's like when dudes start being like, people call them the sucker dudes. Then the hood dudes like, yo, you being a sucker right now. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, don't be a sucker. So I feel like Colorado had a bunch of suckers on the team last year.
But so Harry, with that being said, right, that's a good segue. I sent you
Mhm,
a clip. I
mhm.
sent you a clip of what I was talking about when Shador was getting sacked, and I had cut.
Well, is it a CU clip or is it a?
It's in the back chat.
No. I
I,
mean, like, I can't play certain clips or I'll get
no,
copyright
no.
strike.
Okay, so it's from first take, but I
Oh
cut
no,
it.
I can't. Yeah, I won't be able to play it.
Oh, you ain't got to play the value. Oh, you get. Oh, you can. Okay,
The
I got
video,
you. I got
they're
you.
gonna see the video. They're gonna copyright strike it. It's happened to me before.
Oh,
Yeah. That's what That's what happens when you
okay.
play like a network because it's FS1. That's Fox, right?
Yeah. I think that is
Yeah. That's Fox. If I
FS1.
play
That's
a
fine.
Fox clip, they're gonna copyright strike it. So I'm not gonna mess with it. But let me play
Oh,
this.
okay.
Let's play some of these interviews and see.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
All right. So let's see here. Uh, hold up. I'm trying to. Okay, hold up. All right. So let me get my Let me turn my microphone around again. Give me just a second, guys. Let's listen to what Trevor has to say, and let's see if we can like break it down a little bit for Trevor here.
It was awesome, you know.
Y'all can hear it?
He came up to him.
Yeah.
Yes.
I gave you the spotlight, do something with it. So, you know, I'm grateful for it, and I just got to run. Compared you to Brian Urlacher. What do you think about that comparison? It was awesome, you know. The next day he came up to me and said, you know, I gave you the spotlight, do something with it. So, you know, I'm grateful for it, and I just got to run with it.
How's it been developing your body? I know you said you were sick in the spring and then kind of didn't have a chance to build up the way you wanted to. Did you get that opportunity now? Do you feel like comfortable in your own skin?
Yeah, I'm way bigger. I'm way stronger right now. You know, I was just telling Mark that I was 198. I remember my first game at Bagger. Right now, I was 217 this morning. So I've gotten a lot bigger and a lot stronger.
Just overall at linebacker, just how do you feel at that position now, maybe compared to the spring?
I feel a lot more comfortable in it. You know, it's, you know, I mean, we're going to get the pads on soon, but I feel a lot more comfortable playing against the linemen and stuff like that. So it's a lot better at this point.
All right. So let me get your opinion. Are y'all getting Brian Urlacher vibes from Trevor? I mean, he got bigger, and let me tell y'all why I like Trevor. I mean, I don't know as far as him starting and being a linebacker and all of that. I don't know about all of that yet, but this is why I like Trevor. I like Trevor for the same reasons why I like Charlie Offerdo. These guys are hard worker. They work, they put their heads down and they just work hard. And they're smart. They have a high football acumen or they have high football IQ. So I don't know that if you put them anywhere, they're gonna thrive. Now,
So
does that take away? Does that really fill in the gap of natural instincts? I don't really know if the natural instinct and the athletic ability, like Phil So Real was saying, the natural ability, like when you see certain guys that are just natural, they just really like a Coach Prime type, athleticism. I don't know if I see that if I can go all the way there with Trevor Woods. But I like the fact that he's smart, and I feel like he's going to be okay. But is that okay? Is being okay enough for Colorado in the Big 12? Let me get you first, Warren G.
yeah. So before I answer that question, if I may ask you,
Mm-hmm.
how many interceptions did he have last year?
How many
Maybe two,
interceptions
at least
from
last
the
year.
safety's position, or when he
This
transferred
period.
over?
This period. Or even when transfer over. Let's keep it simple. Yeah. When he
Man, he got that
transferred.
big one at TCU. I think it was yeah, he got that big one at TCU, but I don't know the
Yeah, it
full
was in the
stats.
red zone.
Yeah, I don't know the full stats of how many interceptions he got. It could have been 4.
Okay. Okay. So with that being said, and only because I saw the full clip of this already,
Mm-hmm.
everything that you talked about, it's gonna end up being bagged up because of the questions that's being asked. Let me see. Specifically talking with Uncle Nilly asked him some questions today, and I didn't want to take away from that. So I'm gonna save my comment just for a little bit so you can see where I'm coming from with it.
Okay, so Phil, let me get your thoughts on that then.
Okay, so I just want to make sure what is the specific question that I'm answering.
So I want to get your comments, your thoughts on. Are you getting Brian Urlacher vibes from Trevor? And then also, I like the fact that he's smart. He's a smart football player, and he got, like he said, he got bigger. He's 217 right now. But I get contrasted from being a smart football player and a good football player to just not having that natural ability at the position.
So I look at it like this: I can know what play is about to happen. And by the way, he had 2 interceptions last year in Colorado.
Okay. 2 total, right?
Yeah, 2 total.
Okay.
So I can know where a player is going to go all day, but if I can't beat the lineman and get to the running back, it's not going to matter. I can, as a quarterback, know that the cornerback is going to play zone, and I can get the ball to my receiver if I throw it here. But if I can't throw the ball where I'm supposed to, it's not going to matter. So it's great to have the smarts, but you still got to have the skill set to get you there. Now, he can put himself in the right position to make good plays here and there, but how many times does, I say, lack of talent or skill, how many times does it hurt him? Like, we can talk about how much his acumen can help him and make positive plays, but we also have to look at how often does the lack of talent prevent him from making certain plays that's needed. And I think that's the pros and cons that you're going to have to weigh as a coach on putting a guy out there like him. And as far as does he remind me of Urlacher? Definitely not. Urlacher was a guy that came in playing safety that was already built like a linebacker. Trevor Woods is a safety that plays safety and is now trying to bulk up to become a linebacker. I right now weigh 196 pounds. I have no business playing linebacker at power 4 level, based off of how much I weigh. So I'm glad that he's putting on weight, but I cannot say that he reminds me of Brian Urlacher by any stretch of the imagination.
Are you ready to add your comment word?
Well, I wanted you to play a little bit more of the clip.
Okay,
And
let's go a little bit more.
It's a good reason why.
All right, let's go a little bit more.
Trevor, what was the interception this morning?
The first one was just the screen.
We heard
just jump the screen. And then the second one, they tried to pump fake. They tried to pump fake me. I flip turned. I've been telling coach I was gonna do that. I've been telling coach over there I was gonna do it. But I flip turned and he didn't see me. He wasn't ready for me to do that.
Trevor, you've been a safety for a long time.
Yeah.
So being a linebacker, what do you like about that spot, and how is it different, or how is it better than maybe than safety?
Kind of like what I was just saying. Like, I don't get seen a lot. When you're a safety, they're keying the safeties. The quarterback's keying the safeties. At linebacker, I can kind of. I don't even really have to disguise sometimes because they're not looking at me. So it's just simple things like that in coverage. I feel like it's just easier to sneak up on something.
What does that competition look like at the linebacker position for you guys?
It's a lot. We got a lot of guys who have played a lot of good ball and guys that work their ass off. My bad. We got some good players in there.
Trevor, you were an OB for the first season of Coach Prime, now in your second season. How's your veteran spot in the locker room? What's your spot in the locker room right now? Have you reached UNC status?
Coach Hart's been calling me old man Willie and stuff. But I'm still not one of the oldest guys. There's some code guys still. So I'm not UNC yet, but I'm older.
Coach Prime talked about last year being kind of a restoring hope year, and this year expectation setting in. Do you see the intensity shift from him and the coaching staff as you enter year 2 with Coach Prime?
I wouldn't say there's a shift from him. He's the same person always. Even if he said it was hope last year, he had the same expectations. It's like, he's not changing anything about him, so it's all going the same way.
Trevor, what have been the main differences that have stood out for you from Coach Livingston's defense to Coach Livingston's?
A lot of it's just the simplicity of it. It's all right, we're gonna do this. Like he's hard coding the coverage. He's hard, if they line up like this, I mean, it's going to play like this, you know. So it's a lot of just simplicity and not as many calls and stuff like that.
Does it feel like
Hey, can we touch on that real quick?
Yeah.
You can pause it now. You
I
can
was
pause
gonna
it
pause it
now.
right there too. Go ahead.
Yeah, so he talked about the simplicity of the playbook. I'm gonna just say this, man. That's one thing that I got to give credit to Bama and the players on their defense, because that defense that Colorado was running last year, Charles Kelly got that from Bama, and so the fact that those Bama guys can come in and learn it and do it so well, with it being as complicated as it is, I just want to say that says a lot about the guys that go to Alabama to play football.
Okay,
And
good.
to touch on that though, when that offense or that defense was being played, you have to understand that they had guys there that was in the stable already there learning those schematic those defensive plays 3 years prior to even them starting. So they
Correct.
already knew all of that. Whereas we couldn't, not to take away from Coach Kelly, it's not going to be able to be done with these 1 year players or these
Right.
2 year players in the way that they got the
That's a good
transfer
point.
portal nowadays, and so we have to build up to a Alabama type of process, to get there. And I think we're trying to get there. And I'm gonna just stop right there. But I guess what I was saying when you asked us whether he's a Brian Urlacher,
Mm-hmm.
one of the main things that caught my attention. He said Prime said I put you in the light. Now what you do with it is up to you. I put you out there. Now, take it and run with it. So he pushing him. He may not be a Brian Urlacher, but he's pushing him in the right. He knows he's pushing his buttons. You
Mm-hmm.
understand what I'm saying? To get
Yeah.
more out of him. And here we got in practice, he's using that. He's learning how to be sneaky as a linebacker. How to make the quarterback think he's doing one thing, just like Travis is doing. Now, what he may not have the athletic gifting, but how he thinks the process of the game can kind of cover up for the lack of the athleticism that we normally would want to look from a football player in that position. So my hats off to Woods. He's maximizing his moment. Let me say it that way.
Right, and I'll say this real quick. You don't want a team full of Trevor Woods, but I promise you're going to have at least about 10 of Trevor Woods on your team. I don't think a team of Trevor Woods can win a national championship, but
Right.
if you have the right one or two or three or four of them on your team, they can really be a difference maker.
So is that development thing that you've been talking about all year, or can you unpack that a little bit? What do you mean by that?
So the point that I'm making as far as like Trevor Woods, like you wanted to have a Trevor Woods on your team, is that they may not be the most talented guy on the team, but they're the guy that's going to go out there and just do the job that they're supposed to do. They're going to know their job, so they're going to be in the right place. They're going to know the job of the people around them, so they can also help other people to be where they need to be. And I feel like Trevor Woods is like one of those quiet leaders. He's going to lead by example. He's not going to get up there and do the huddle breakdown. He's not going to give the pep talk before the game starts. He's just going to go out there and practice, do what he's supposed to do. Eat, lift, steady, keep it moving.
Isn't that the same thing with your boy Charlie Offerdo?
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, so
And so I'm sorry, real quick, last point. As far as like the developmental portion of it, I think with everybody, there's only so high of a ceiling they'll have, and just my opinion, I don't think a Charlie or a Trevor are guys that are going to cap out at like a low 4-star talented guy, but they're just going to be guys that are going to be able to play in your system and help your team be successful.
Yeah,
So
it's also when we get those other players that's talented and strong and have the gifting, it keeps them so. uh, Coach Prime is what fast, smart, disciplined with character, I
tough,
believe.
tough with
Tough,
carry.
right? And they embody his theology or his philosophy, and so he
Mm,
wants to put that philosophy out there in front and let them guys that we know that's more talented make sure that they do that on and off the field, if
mm,
that makes sense. So I'll put that in there and say, this is the standard, this is the policy right here. If you want to be, if you want to um, be the starter, then follow the policy that's in front of you and surpass that and overachieve what the policy is standing in front of you, like a Charlie, like a Trevor, you
mm-hmm.
know, like a Tyler Brown. Tyler Brown is one of those players that I believe, you know, that's on and off the field.
Yeah,
He giving
Tyler
you
Brown is a Charlie Archibald, Trevor Woods type guy, in my
Mm.
opinion.
So, but it's sounding like we got a few of those type of guys, and
Right. And you
yeah,
want to
so
have some of those guys on the team.
right. So Coach Prime has done a good job trying to make this team a much well-rounded team. And let me just circle back to the earlier conversations that we were having about the hood dudes, and I'm just gonna call them that. Not necessarily, it's a bad term, but it gets the point across. When Solomon was saying that the Eric Bieniemy is going to the hood, going to Compton, getting some guys from the hood, the attitude that they bring to the team is the fact that they're not afraid of anybody, right? And they don't care about who you are. And Shador also has the same attitude. Like he don't think about. Let's just say, Phil, how you're a Bama fan, right? Some guys, because they hear, Ollie Gordon so many times, Avery Johnson, you hear those names, so it plants some type of seed in your head to make you feel like this guy is elite and I need to be afraid of him.
Mm-hmm.
So certain dudes, when they go play like Oregon, they go line up against Oregon because Oregon is this, smash mouth football, this tough team. Some guys will probably just not have that. They won't bring that energy to the game, knowing that I ain't afraid of. I don't care who you are, right? I don't care what your name is. I don't care what number you are, how many times you've been in the media. Some of these dudes don't care about none of that. And that's why I'm like, I'm still on this mentality. Just when Jimmy Horn said it's different now, like this year is different. That's what I'm thinking about. Like these dudes are not going to be caring about no Ollie Gordon or no nothing. They're not going to be caring about nothing. They're going to play some really good football.
I want to be very clear though. I don't think the guys that played last year cared about the names on the back of the jersey.
Some of them
or on
did,
the front
bro.
of the jersey.
Some
But
of them did. You can tell.
Okay.
Some of them
Okay,
dudes
so-
was real soft around the angles. And let's put it this way. Maybe they didn't. And there was a different dynamic that we were dealing with. Maybe they just didn't feel at home, or they just didn't feel like whatever they didn't feel. But it didn't come across as like these guys were like hungry hyenas. But I feel like this year, we got hungry hyenas.
Well, my point is that last year you might have had guys that had that mentality that they weren't going to be scared. They just weren't talented enough. But I think this year, I think you have guys that collectively as a whole are more talented than what you had. Than what you had last year. And I do think there is a certain swagger that these guys have coming in. I think that the guys coming in, they know what happened last year with Colorado, and they don't want that to happen again. So it's kind of like one of those situations where they're bought into the future of the program, and they want to be that first edition of Colorado being coached by Deion Sanders to go to a bowl game. go to a conference championship game. I think these guys that have come in want to be a part of that real foundation of like, hey, this is going to be a legit program for the years to come.
Look at John Doe. I laugh at John. John Doe said, "How you just." Yo, there are different kinds of fans, boy. I tell you.
I mean,
John Doe
I
said,
will say this though, it don't look good, but it's plenty of teams that got other guys out there that's, loafing around and stuff.
how you just complete a whole conditioning program and still like look the John Doe, the level of trolling is is laughable. How you just complete a whole conditioning program and still out of shape? This team won't see one win. You sound like you're from PG County. Like you sound like those dudes I grew up around where nothing. Like, have you seen the meme where? What is the meme that says black dudes would clown you for anything? Like, and then they like dudes drinking water.
Mm-hmm.
Yo, I grew up around some dudes that nothing satisfied them. It doesn't matter what you do for them. Okay,
that's a lot of childhood trauma right there, man. But they need to heal. They need to heal, man. Let that thing go.
I just find it so funny. This team would not see one win. Like, hey, they won 4 last year and they were worse. No, but I'm not taking this seriously. It's just that I know the element of the jousting this is. I feel like he's one of my friends, like somebody I grew up around.
But you know what? No, they do need to be. I will say this: like, just as much as Colorado has that advantage, being in the elements. You know what I'm saying? Like, I hope guys take that serious and try to like use it to their advantage.
Like what do you mean?
The altitude. You know what I'm saying? Like it being so tough and being so hard to deal with. You know what I'm saying? Like I hope guys like use that to train even harder, so they will have it as an advantage. Because like for example, that UCF game when they go down to Florida, the humidity is going to be tough as far as the heat. That's going to be something that they don't have in Colorado. Now, obviously, everybody that plays for Colorado is not from Colorado. So you got a lot of kids from Georgia, a lot of kids from Texas and Florida that have experienced that kind of heat before. But my point is, training in that altitude, I hope that will give them a leg up in a situation like going to Florida when it should technically be a disadvantage going down to South Florida at that time of year.
Yeah, I mean, I think they'll get right. I mean, this is July 29th. They just got back. So yeah, I'm not judging these guys because remember now they were ahead of their training schedule. So I'm sure they're going to be, I'm sure they're going to definitely do that. But Surfer Boy said, go watch Ollie Gordon recent video. So listen, I'm not downplaying anybody in the Big 12. I wasn't downplaying Ollie Gordon. I think the thing I was speaking on is that when you do get if I do go watch this video, I wouldn't be afraid for my team. That's my attitude. Like nothing scares me, right? So when I look in a guy's eyes and I can spot fear, then I know I don't want to rock with that dude if I'm about to go into a situation like a battle with a dude. Like if I'm looking in your eyes and you look a little scared, like I don't want you around me. All right? Like the best example I can give you, like if we're going to a tough neighborhood in PG County, I don't want soft dudes around me. Like I don't want to be rocking with my boy who I know he will run on the first if he just hears like a car tire blow, he'll run. He'll think
right.
You know what I'm saying? Like I don't want to go to certain neighborhoods with that guy. But he's a good friend. So what I'm talking about is knowing that North Dakota State is a good team, knowing that not Houston, but knowing that we're gonna, K-State's gonna come with it, knowing that everybody's gonna come with it, but still being like, all right, let them come. Right. When I get that, then I'm like, yo, we about to play football. Cause I think what you want out of your team, you really want your team not to be afraid. You really want your team to just be like competitive, and then let the results fall where they're going to fall. Because if your team is competing, then you just sit back and you're like, oh, if we're trading, then I can have confidence that my team is going to be all right. But if we're going to be like a Oregon and Colorado 2023, that's where I'm like, okay, there's no way. We're not ready. We're not ready if we're going to get another Oregon, Colorado 2023 situation. And let me ask, Phil. Actually, I'll ask Warren G. He just got back. Warren G., do you see anything or anywhere in the Big 12? Do you see any Oregon? I'm not sure if you're looking at the screen, but do you see any Oregons in the Big 12?
Oklahoma State and Kansas, Jayhawk.
So those are the Oregons?
For me, I'm 10-2, so I got us going 10-2. And I'm not talking about that's not including the championship, and that's not including that first round of playoffs. I got us winning 14 games. Let me say that.
So we're winning straight up 10 off the schedule.
My 10 is the first 10, and then Jayhawks and Oklahoma State, because they're gonna learn their system, they're gonna learn the playbook a little bit. They have the most upside to upsetting Colorado. The first 6 games they ain't gonna have nothing on us.
But okay, so
and
with
then we
all
got
the research I've been doing,
if you look at the schedule after 6 games.
Go ahead.
I have a question though. Why is the assumption always that nobody's going to understand Colorado's playbook to start the beginning of the season?
I don't know if we have a delay we have a delay because I'm not sure if Warren G is on the same time. Warren G, are you there? Yeah, I think we have a delay, but go ahead with your question, Phil.
No, he pointed out, the first 6 games, nobody's going to have a playbook on us, this, that, and the third. But couldn't the same be said for everybody else that Colorado is playing against? Even if they do bring back the same staff from last year, every year, the offense is going to have a different type of, they're going to have different type of wrinkles. So it's not like basically the same thing that can be said for Colorado can be said for other teams. Is my point. So if that's going to be an advantage to Colorado, then they should be able to be an advantage to other teams as well. Because just like Arizona's going to have a new head coach this year.
So everybody in the Big 12 is built for the run. They're not built for the pass. They don't have the corners. I don't see how you have the teams have enough corners. It's only 2 teams out there, which is Kansas and maybe Oklahoma State, that gives them a challenge. Because if we go full wide, somebody choose your poison. They're built for the line. They're not built for the pass. We know that Big 12 is a run, because you see evidence of different teams with multiple running backs with all these yards and not too many throwing passes. And so, Go ahead.
So if that's your logic, then that means Colorado's defense is going to be at a disadvantage, because whenever everybody talks about Colorado's defense, they talk about edge rushers, getting after the quarterback, rushing the passer. We don't talk about people stopping the run. So if Colorado can't stop the run, then it's not going to matter what their offense can do, because other teams are going to keep the ball out of your hands.
The thing about us this year, and let me just start with last year. We got all skilled players. We went out to skilled players first, which means we got some tough. We got some really good cornerbacks in our room, and let's not forget about Travis being an anomaly of that. You're not gonna throw towards Travis. If you throw towards Travis, I understand. I'm finna get there. So we already had the passing thing because we come from a pass heavy conference. What we did this year was built that for the run because we knew that that's what we're going to be facing most of the time. Our defense is now built for the run. If you check those boys' stats, you're gonna see why their stats will tell you and suggest that that's what they do. They
But that's
stop
not
the
what
run.
everybody talks about. Like all I'm saying is when we talk about Colorado, everybody wants to brag about the edge rushes and getting after the quarterback. I rarely hear anybody brag about Colorado being able to stop the run this year. So
Because we just
if that's what you're
right
saying
because
is the
we
case, then I think that would be a if what you're saying happens, then I think it definitely makes sense that Colorado could go 10-2 because I do think that their receivers are good enough to keep them in any game they play.
But I don't know that
and
we really exhausted the answer to my question.
Go
Because
for it.
Surfer Boy 3000 is saying there's no Oregons other than
Oh,
UCF, KSU,
yeah,
Texas.
right. That's what I
I have
said.
a comment on that though
I said
because
Oklahoma State and Kansas. It's the Oregon to me. Yeah.
But based on my research, the elements that made Oregon what it was, they don't have. So what are you saying, or how can you articulate what do
Well,
you think what the elements that makes them Oregon? Their
no,
O line, their D line.
No, I think they equipped to their program is a strong program and they disciplined program, and that's the only element that I have out of that. Outside of that, I don't see them being an Oregon like that. But
So then there's no
beating us,
then according to that, there's no Oregon because I think
and I have to agree with that. There's no Oregon there.
yeah,
when you
because
say
the O
an
line and
Oregon,
go ahead.
when you say an Oregon, are you saying a team that can blow out Colorado? Because
Yeah. You know how tough it was for us to move the ball on Oregon. We couldn't do anything on offense or on defense. Their O line was just so tough for us. Their
Oh no,
D line
there's
was
no
just so
Oregon.
tough for us. We just didn't have any answers at all when it came to Oregon.
I think the biggest concern is what team is Washington State opening because that game shouldn't have happened. Like I can see a world where Oregon beats Colorado like that, maybe 3 times out of 10. I don't see any scenario where Washington State beats Colorado like that again. So that would be my bigger concern: is who are your Washington States and the Surfer Boys point? Like who is your Oregon State? I think that is a bigger concern this year than who's going to be the Oregon on the roster.
But I think Washington State was a fluke, though. I don't know that. Like after Oregon, I don't know that anybody really were like that put the fear in us. You know, the thing I'm concerned about is the fear that we had.
Quick pushback on the Washington State thing.
Huh?
Quick pushback on the Washington State thing. I know you said it was a fluke, but everything that happened in that game was like the culmination of everything that was wrong all season. Giving up sacks, turnovers. They had 2 turnovers that led to touchdowns. Like I think a fumble 6 or pick 6, like in the same quarter, same half. You had a kickoff return for a touchdown. Crossing routes galore. Shador getting sacked, not stopping the run. Everything that they were doing wrong all year is what caused them to lose the way they did in that game. It was just nobody gave Washington State credit for having good enough players to do that. So I don't think it was necessarily a fluke because the weaknesses they showed in that game were weaknesses they had shown all season that just hadn't got corrected.
So yeah, I mean, I hear what y'all saying, but the whole Washington State game. I mean, I know we took an L like nobody, but do I think that Washington State was like an Oregon that based on how the score was? I mean, if you look at Colorado and how Colorado played, nobody really did us like Oregon. You feel me?
No, they did. But guess what though? But that's the beautiful part about football is you can still get completely dominated and not lose by 50 points, lose by 40 points. Because you look at the Oregon State game, you look at the Arizona State game. while those games were close as far as numbers are concerned, but like if you look in the trenches, there were some key mismatches that were going on. And the fact that Arizona and Oregon State were able to run the ball when it mattered at the end of the game, that said a lot as well. And that goes to my point that I made, I think, Friday on the stream when I was talking about when Colorado knows they have to run the ball and get 3 yards. Can they line up and say, we got to get 3? I know we can get 5. That's what I'm looking for out of Colorado this year. That's gonna determine how successful they can be this year.
If you have a 700.
So okay, so is it a consensus that there isn't really an Oregon type team? Yeah, we did get dominated by other teams, but there is no team that's going to put the fear in us. You know what I'm saying? Like,
no. I mean, I will say this: if Texas was still in the conference, I'm sorry, it wouldn't bode well for Colorado. But the fact that I mean, honestly, like this year is on paper looks like a weak year for the Big 12. I think they're moving in the right direction. I think they got a lot of good teams that will be successful in the coming years. But right now, this is a weak year for the Big 12. So there's nobody on the schedule that I would look at and say I'm overly concerned about if I'm a CU player or a fan.
So then,
and with the weapons,
go ahead.
And with the weapons that we have, I mean, we got the best right now. We got the best quarterback in the nation, man. Now, somebody might want to argue that. That's on them. I believe we have the best quarterback in the nation. We have the best two-way player in the nation. And this is the time, like Prime said, now. It's now. This is it. Let's do it. Let's go all out. We got what we need. We got enough depth now. We got enough pieces that can help us move forward and get those games that we lost by one touchdown or one single point. We can overcome that, especially if we remain disciplined, because a lot of those games that we lost was due to a lot heavy penalties as well as trenches. So and coaching. So I think we fixed those problems in all those areas, so we should be okay. We're gonna be okay. At least I know we get 10-2.
Yeah, I'm not comfortable with 10-2. I don't know that we got talent for 10-2 because I've been counting the talent. Like if I was to count the talent by talent, I don't see 10-2. I mean, I respect what you're saying, but talent for talent, I mean, we're only one-sided. We're blindsided, right? We're blindsided because we're only seeing us play. We're not seeing Ollie Gordon play. We're not looking at anybody else's practice. If we were privy to their practices, then we can evaluate them rightfully. But just to look at them preseason, just to look at the talent and evaluate the actual talent from all of the research and the videos that I didn't even put out, we don't have 10 games. I don't see 10 games.
So here's why I see 10.
Okay.
The quarterbacks are not Big 12 is not pass heavy, right? They run heavy.
Pause it right there, because you said that earlier. You said that earlier, and I didn't get a chance to give a rebuttal on that. You don't remember what we talked about. You don't necessarily have to be you don't have to be a USC or you don't have to be a Pac-12 to win football games. You ain't gotta be Shador to win a game. So when you're saying they're not pass heavy, it's not that the fact that they're not pass heavy, it doesn't mean that they don't know how to pass. So let's just make sure that we put that out there. Not being a Dylan Edwards doesn't mean that Charlie Offerdale cannot run the ball. Dylan Edwards just happens to be much faster, but Charlie Offerdale can run the ball. So that's the scenario that I look at with the Big 12. Yes, they are run heavy, but don't sleep on the passing either. That's not how this works. You feel me?
Right. So I get what you're saying, and I agree. Here's my point. When you compete against when you compete against Colorado, 9 times out of 10, and I'm looking at Shador's. So I'm looking at this campaign in comparison to Shador's 2 years with Jackson State.
Okay.
They went undefeated. Everybody, I mean, every game that they played, the games was like 30 plus, right?
Okay.
Now, if we're effective in limiting the stop run, you're gonna have to at some time force yourself to get. You're gonna be forced into like a 3rd and 14 or 3rd and 8, right?
Mhm.
That's where our secondary is gonna be a real heavy. Where it's gonna be effective, and we picking off balls now. Now you're throwing because you know time is running out on you, because now we're able to stop the run. Now this is predicated that we stopping the run,
Mhm.
and that's where I get that from. And so those quarterbacks don't have that calmness that Shador has. All you gotta do is give Shador 3 seconds. It's a wrap. You give him time, he gonna pick you off.
And I'm
And
gonna
you
let you
got
know that he ain't got 3 seconds this year. He got 2.5.
he didn't have
He got
none
two and a
last
half.
year.
If he needs 3, then he's a half a
And,
point. He's a half a point in the NFL.
it,
Like
it,
just go
right.
to the NFL and forget about it.
He didn't have none last year.
He
And you
had
see what he did.
has a little bit, but
No, he
he
didn't have none last year. He didn't. Man, they was as soon as they hiked that ball, them linemen was right in his face, and he had to hold the ball. I'm telling you, it's gonna be a lot different. You give him time, he's gonna pick you off, and he could go. And he got so many weapons on the skill position. It's gonna be hard for you to keep up
so
if you
okay. So
relying on
you're
your running game, and that's being stopped in key times of the game. That's being stopped. You don't want to. The best thing you can either do is sack Shador or keep him off the field. And if that's not effective, you got to throw the ball. And I don't
so
see any
you're
quarterback.
you're basing your whole 10-2 on somebody else's misfortune. It's not. It doesn't sound like Colorado's fortunes. You're more so basing it on somebody else's misfortunes, which is like luck. It
No,
sounds like
I'm basing that off my defense that we brought in. BJ is a beast in putting pressure on the quarterback. So I don't see where the problem that we had was stopping the run. I don't see that happening this year.
I mean, it remains to be seen. The good thing is the first 2 games of the season will be good gauges on whether or not this run defense is going to be what you think it'll be. So yeah, it remains to be seen. I don't have as much confidence as you do, but
yeah,
obviously,
right.
if it does happen, I mean, if they are as good as what you're saying, stopping the run, then I think that's definitely worth an extra win or two, if not more.
Yeah, it's not that I don't have the confidence he has. I have confidence in our team, right? But for you to get a 10 win, you're gonna everything like you're saying has to line up exactly like the way you're saying it.
We in that that hurricane got all that in there. That storm is coming. It's a storm coming. It's called the prime storm. Get
Okay,
ready for it. Get ready for it.
okay. Yo, I ain't gonna hold you, man. I like if I was motivating the team, I would want you to come and do it, right? But it's just like, yo, I got 8. And 8 is a stretch. All right. I got 8, but
What's
if
the
you're
4
saying,
games you got them going? What 4 games?
oh, okay.
What
So
4 games?
So I haven't been able to articulate which 4 games, and the reason why is because of what happened last year. College football is very unpredictable and it's weird, right? So I'm saying there's going to be 4 games, but I can't put a name to it because I feel like they're going to lose one of those games that somebody's expecting them to win. Like
Okay.
last year, we supposed to beat Stanford. Stanford was on schedule to lose, but we lost it, right? So I'm kind of like I'm putting in there one of those Stanford games, and I'm saying that we're because of the unpredictability of college football, and like on any given Saturday, you know, it can happen to
Did I close?
anybody.
Okay, there
I'm
we
just
go.
feeling like, okay, I don't have 4 exact, but I do know 4 teams that I know are going to be a problem. I don't know that those are going to be the teams that are going to beat us for sure. But you got the two teams that we got to be afraid of because of rivalry: Nebraska, Colorado State. If
Okay, so
the ball fell our way last year, but the question is it going to fall our way again this year? Hopefully, right? We don't know.
okay, so let's take the Nebraska game. They
Mm-hmm.
got a freshman quarterback,
Yep.
and the biggest game is going to be. I mean, the viewership is going to be out the roof. I mean, out the
Right,
roof.
because it's in Lincoln
So
this time around.
so we have that. You have to take that into consideration. That Nebraska, they was you said they was ranked number 9 last year or number 11 last year.
Their
Nebraska?
defense was a top 20 defense last year.
Right.
But
And
the team itself
and
wasn't ranked last year, no.
okay, right. The defense. We talking about the defense. Their
They were
defense.
number
And then
18. Nebraska was number 18. They're going into this season number 18, ranked number 18.
right.
That's
Okay.
not a legit poll. That's the Joel Klatt poll, though, right? Like
But
that's
we
not
talking about
AP,
that
right?
defense. I think
No,
that was
well, we don't know AP yet. AP is not out yet.
no. So let me say this. The defense is ranked. Basically, they was ranked last year. Really good to be a really good defense. We didn't have, first of all, we didn't have let's just keep it a buck. We really didn't have a line like we should have that we
Okay.
have this year. We
Mhm.
didn't have our trenches we didn't have any depth last year. None. I mean, if somebody got hurt, we was in for it. You know what I mean? And it showed. But we beat them.
Okay.
And it wasn't something like they didn't come back until towards the end. We was whooping I think we was by halftime we was 24 something, 24-7. They didn't score double digits.
Mhm.
And so you trying to tell me that they got this pretty much the same team, other than the fact they got a rookie quarterback and they don't have a elite wide receiver room.
You don't have to have an elite wide receiver room to
Right,
win
but
or beat
you're talking
Colorado.
about matching up against Travis. He's shutting down one side of your field. If you want to test him, freshman quarterback want to test Travis, go ahead and do that. Try it and see where they get you. So you're working on one half of the field. So I'm not, and that's the second game. Now, here's the key to that second game. That first game is going to be a blowout. They only got us 5.5 points.
No, I'm with you on that one. I'm with you. I'm not riding with the Nebraska narrative, but I'm with you on the NDSU. NDSU, we're gonna knock their heads off.
Right.
I agree. It'll be at least a 20-point victory.
Yeah, we're gonna knock their heads off. I feel like we're gonna cut their heads off. Like,
and don't be surprised if it's more than that. Now, don't get in your feelings when it's more than that, because that's gonna send a note and by us playing Nebraska the second game, they don't have us figured out yet.
why are you using that for your data argument? Why would you?
Because
why would that be a part of your?
because first of all, we got a new coordinator, and it ain't like it's some film out there, because most of these teams started to get an advantage when they started to see film on us and realized that we could not run the ball and we would not run the ball. But if we're running the ball, it's going to be
that
pretty
worked
hard.
last year though, but I don't know that'll work again this year.
But we didn't. We didn't have the receivers that we had. I mean, the receivers that we have this year. I mean, I'm Nebraska ain't gonna have no answer for it. Not by the second game.
Yeah, but if their defense got better and they get after Shador,
They got the
And
same defense. They got the same defense. They didn't get better. They got the same defense. The only thing
Wait,
that
wait,
they
wait, wait,
got
wait, wait.
different.
But see, that's the problem. You're equating getting better to adding more players. The
right.
same players that were there
Maturity.
last year can be
And
reaching
we
more of
be
their full potential.
and we got better this year too. And we
Okay, so if
beat them.
Colorado's defense,
We beat them last year. The same players that's coming back that we saying that got better. You have to equate to. You have to add in the fact that we also got better. That we're not the same offense that they're gonna be going against.
and
None
they're
of
not the
these
same
guys
offense
are
they went up against last year. You got to be honest. Be honest. If Nebraska had
okay.
C+ quarterback play, that game would have looked a lot different. I'm not saying Colorado wouldn't have won, but the game would have looked a lot different. Quarterback play is what lost that Nebraska game last year,
Okay,
and I
so
think Dylan Raiola is a much better quarterback than what Nebraska had
he
last year.
may okay, but he's a freshman. So you telling me that a freshman should come in and be able to beat Colorado?
I've seen
Yeah,
I've
he
seen
can.
I've seen a
He
true
can.
freshman go down in the Death Valley
He can.
and beat LSU. So yeah,
And you think
Arizona's
and you think
quarterback beat us last year. He was a true freshman.
in
and you think
Colorado.
the coaching and you think the coaching, the NFL coaching, the Warren Saps,
No. Hold on,
Miller,
Warren. Wait, hey, Warren Sapp and Warren G. Hold up.
Okay.
Let's deal with Arizona first, because your argument goes against Arizona, who did beat us.
No, I'm
So
talking
what about
about
Fafita being a true freshman beating us? So what would you attribute to that?
we were supposed to win that game, right? The offensive
Everybody's
line.
supposed to win the game.
Right.
I mean,
The offensive
but that's
line.
the argument you're making. So
Right, but
what
the
would
offensive
you?
line is the issue. I mean, a quarterback getting. Have you heard of a quarterback being sacked 52 times and still playing?
At the point of Arizona, it wasn't 52 times yet.
But we realized that offense had broke down at that particular time. Let's just keep it a buck. We knew, all of us knew.
But keep it at the
So
quarterback.
whose job is to get it right though? Whose job is to get the
It's the
train back on the
coaches.
track?
It's the coaches. No, it's the coaches. But we didn't have depth. So let's not act like we had depth. We couldn't look down the line and say, "Come on
let me
in."
ask you this question, right? Just from a general perspective, not forget about being a CU fan, right? From a general perspective, you do understand why your argument can have holes in it, right? You do understand that, right?
Yeah. No. So
All right.
mine's not infallible. I am fallible, but I said in my fallacies, with my fallacies,
Mhm.
I believe that we got 10-2.
Okay, but I mean, but how you're articulating getting to 10-2, there's a lot of fallacies in there. There's a lot of holes in there, because you're depending mostly on the lack of the other team than on our team. Like, okay, let's just say.
So aren't they dependent on the lack of what we got going on, like the continuity?
I know,
because
but
the argument is the reverse for the other side, where we haven't been
I'm just
together
saying,
long enough.
if you were to say, all right, Colorado got Benson, we got BJ Green, we got these people, and they're, if you put them against X, Y, and Z players, they're gonna really, eat them alive, and that argument can really hold stronger than saying, well, they got a freshman. But then when I throw up Fafita at you, who was a freshman who did beat us, then we got to move the goalposts a little bit and say, okay, well then let's go back to this. So
okay, I looked at their players, but I don't know. If I don't have that particular, I would love to go that route. I understand what you're really
brought
going.
in they brought in like 20-something freshmen. They barely brought in anybody that had from the transfer. They brought in a lot of freshmen. So Nebraska is building like the legacy Phil and DC. Like they always say, Nebraska only brought in let's just say they only brought in freshmen, all freshmen. Like everybody they brought in was all freshmen, like 25 freshmen. I think I counted like 2 players that were not freshmen that they brought in.
And is that spread out throughout the team, or is that
throughout
like
the team, all freshmen throughout the team?
Right. So but
But
and based on
keep
what I
in mind,
based on
their
my
freshmen
compare,
become sophomore, their sophomores become juniors, their
so
juniors become seniors. So
so
it's not like
Preston, so
you're not
Preston,
playing the same team. You're playing a progression of the team from last year,
so
right?
okay, so Block Bully played in the Big 12 last year. He
Pac-12 or Big
participated
12?
for no the Big 12. He
Who did he
played for
play for last year?
Houston.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And if you look at all his film, every team from Texas on down had the double team, and they could not move him off that block. And some other players that I did some comparisons, especially with Notre Dame. I mean, not Notre Dame, but Nebraska and North Dakota. Their biggest player on their line is under 290. It's not even over 300. I mean,
So
we got a
DC got a
wall.
question for you, Warren G.
Okay.
Do you expect a new DC to call a 10-2 caliber defense? Is that realistic? So let's take the new DC and place him on Nebraska, and then reverse the argument. So if it was at Nebraska, then it'll be the same freshman argument, right? It'll be that freshman argument.
So then we get into the quality of players now. We get into that. You got to understand.
Well, answer the DC question first. The new DC question.
Right. So if you had a DC, so our DC is not playing, does not have a playbook that the players have to learn. He's creating a playbook that to the quality of players that he has in this locker room and what they're good at, which is a lot different than a player trying to learn a particular scheme or a playbook from that standpoint. Now, back to his question, I would think that if you're going to get a new DC, you want a DC that can relate to not only the players but the coaches that they have in that locker room, the position coaches that they have in that locker room. And I think that what we have in our the coaches that we have are so professional and NFL minded and know what the game should look like from a pro's perspective, that they will be able to overcome a whole lot of things that we may not lack in continuity. And same way I would say that Nebraska would need that type of community. If I answered the question, and I might not have, but if I didn't, I'm trying to clarify. But a coordinator like.
So then, if you contrast that with the experience of the coaches that have, like Whittingham, if you just contrast that with the other coaches that we're playing, they're not sitting around worried about Warren Sapp being a gold jacket. They're not waiting around. They're not sitting around thinking about, my gosh.
Come on, Harry.
They're not. No, if we were to have a growing conversation, a real conversation, you cannot have a one-sided conversation. We got to consider both sides of the coin, right? That's how you have these conversations. So you got to consider Whittingham saying, I don't care about Warren Sapp, right? His staff is not sitting around thinking about Warren Sapp. We are. But they're not, right?
So let's talk about the coaching. Warren Sapp and Lewis are not only as experienced in what they do on the defensive line, they know techniques. They know how to get the best out of their players.
They don't have coaching experience
I was going to ask what formal coaching experience does?
Yeah, we got to talk about that.
So wait a minute. So you forget that Warren Sapp was down there with Miami. Y'all.
Warren Sapp has been holding. He's been holding camps. He's been doing a lot of things with the pros.
But
he's been coaching. I get that.
No. Off on the sideline. Warren Sapp has been on the sideline for Miami U, bro. Now you may not.
Has he been doing it in a paid position?
No, it's not in no paid position. So let's not. We're talking about Warren Sapp. We're not talking about no.
Okay.
This guy, 100. This guy was 100 miles.
So for me, that point doesn't matter because that's not him actually coaching. because when you're a college football coach, especially
Okay.
a
All right.
position coach, especially a grad assistant, that is what you're doing 24/7. You're eating, sleeping, and breathing that job. And all I'm simply asking is, has he done it before? And it sounds like he hasn't. It is going
No,
to be
yeah.
a learning curve, just as much as you think it's going to be a
Okay.
learning curve for
Okay.
Raiola being a quarterback. It's going to be the same for coaches. And we have, and it's
Yeah,
a fair,
that's the question.
statement to bring
That's
that
the
up.
pushback that
But
we have when you're on
okay.
when you're having a football conversation. I think a lot of us
Okay.
want to have a conversation that's well rounded, not necessarily just big up our guys, but then the same argument cannot apply to the other guys. Then how can somebody, like, if I was a betting guy, right? If I was betting, how can I say,
So
hey, give me something that I can hold for both teams so I can make the right bet? And you're just
so
giving me one side of the thing, and I'm like,
right.
well, what about the other guy? Are they
But
worried about
I'm
what
not
about the
I'm
other
not
coaches?
right. I'm campaigning. I'm campaigning for CU. I'm a campaign a supporter of CU, and so I know CU. And I'm trying to learn more about CU. And I'm
Oh, I'm not
specifically.
holding you against
Yeah.
that. I'm not holding
No,
that
no, no, no,
against
no, no,
you.
no, no. I'm going somewhere with that. That's not what I'm saying. Well,
Okay.
I guess I'm putting that out there to say that no, I don't know everything about every team. I
Okay.
don't. I just know that what we have on our side of the field it's a symphony to me. So I have a 10-2 perspective of it. I see 10-2. I don't see 8-4. I mean,
Okay.
six games could have went a totally different way if it was just for the changing of coaching. Correct?
But it didn't. That's the whole point. It did
But
not.
we can't.
Split up, split up. So don't work in college football.
Right. Okay.
So,
Well, I mean, I understand that,
Warren,
but there. So so I'm using. Y'all don't like to use the HBCUs and compare it to the Power Five,
God
but that
forbid, right?
same, but the same thing that happened in Jackson State. Mark my words when I say this. Jackson State, you're gonna see the replica of what they did because Coach Prime made it clear to y'all. You better catch me while you can, because when I get it right, it's over. It's a wrap.
so if Colorado is going 10-2, then that means they're going to win the conference. That means they win the conference. That means they have a bye, and they're in the top. They're a top 14
No,
in the playoffs.
10-2 regular season.
Right. Oh,
Right. So it's
so
13. And
regular
so it's
season, but you don't
13.
have them winning the conference.
No. I got them going to the conference, the championship.
Do you have them
I got
winning?
them. I don't know. I don't know who they play because we got 16 teams in the Big 12. We only
Okay,
play two.
so that's a good point. My question was going to be if they go 10-2, that means they won their conference. But I appreciate the fact that you're
They,
saying you don't know who they're going to play. So my question to
no,
you is
no. They go to the
who
they go to the championship conference on a 13 game. 10-2 is just the regular season for me.
right? But you were saying you're not going to say they win the conference because you don't know who they're going to play yet. That's what you said,
No,
right?
I don't know, and I don't know the other team's record. By then, we have all kind of
So cool.
the
So that's
the the,
cool.
the,
But my
the
point is who concerns you the most out of the Big 12 since they're going to go to the conference championship? And if they do win the conference championship, who are two teams that concerns you the most
I have
that you would play in the
Iowa.
playoffs?
So Iowa's in the conference, Big 12 conference.
Iowa
Uh,
State is in the Big 12 conference.
yeah, okay, Iowa State, and then there's West Virginia, which is no slouch. As a matter of fact, the quarterback that Shador practice with from time to time with uh
Yeah, that's
the
a kid from Virginia
court.
Tech,
Yeah,
not
but
Virginia, not West
I'm sorry,
Virginia.
that's you right. You're right. That's from Virginia Tech. But yeah, West Virginia would be a team that I would have to be. I'm gonna be paying attention to. Iowa State is gonna be a team I'm paying attention to, and it may be a repeat between. It may be that Oklahoma State end up facing Colorado twice.
That could very well happen. Yeah, I can see that. That's a possibility.
So I mean, okay, so we can
And I
kind of
got
we can
them
get
and
off.
I got them losing to Oklahoma State. So that and Kansas Jayhawks, only because they're gonna have more stuff out there. They can plan a lot better for them. By then you got some way of how Coach Livingston is coaching his defense. You got somewhere
Listen,
about how Pat Schumann
any
is running some of this stuff. Now, not to say that they're gonna be running that stuff, but at least you got an idea. And so you better those type of order game. You could better plan them and your guys and your soldiers for a good battle. However, what give us an edge is that we got 2 buys within our schedule.
Yeah,
The
everybody has
one
2 buys this year because of how the
right.
season
So, but
started.
we got them at critical points. We got one.
Oh, hold on, Warren. Let me push back a little bit, man. You've been saying a lot.
Okay.
Hold up.
Okay.
Come on, man.
Cool.
Let's be frank. You're saying stuff that everybody should have are just only good for Colorado. That don't bother you to hear that when you hear yourself say that. It doesn't like make your football spirit go like, maybe I should think about this a little bit. Like everything that Colorado has, if it's for another team, is only going to work for Colorado. That doesn't, in your football mind, that don't concern you a little bit.
So you got them going 8-4, right?
I got them going 8-4 because of a lot of like different elements, but I think 8-4 is a stretch. I don't think 8-4 is an easy thing. I think 8-4 is a stretch.
Oh, wait a minute! I never once said that any of this is easy.
But the way you're articulating it, when you go into you didn't say none of that. I'm not holding you to say you're saying this is going to be easy, but when you start articulating it, we start breaking it down, right? It just seems like what you're saying is everything that's good for Colorado. When we flip it on the other coin, it's not good for the other team. But what if, right? You said Colorado has X, Y, and Z. What if that other team also has X, Y, and Z? You're just saying like, oh no, Colorado's going to be better.
Okay, so let's deal with the wide receiver, the quarterback room. Who has the better quarterback room?
Are we going team by team, or are we just saying in general Big 12?
Big 12. Big 12 overall.
Well,
who outside of Colorado
in the
has
position to say? I've been saying, and I have to keep it a buck. I got to stand on business by saying, yes, Colorado does have the better quarterback in the Big 12, but that's not where we start there. No, we can't just do that, right? It doesn't stop there. Having the best quarterback doesn't equate to where we're going, to a 10-2. You can have the best quarterback, but guess what? USC did not win the Big 12, the Pac-12 last year. They had the number 1 quarterback in the Pac-12. You see what I'm saying? But I think they went 8-5.
So
having the best quarterback, it proves my point. Having the best quarterback proves 8-4. It's exactly what I'm saying. So Shedeur being the best quarterback, like USC having the best quarterback last year in Caleb Williams, it proves that they went 8-4, which proves my point. That makes my argument,
who
not
has
yours.
the best receiver room?
Same again. We can go back to USC. They had a better receivers core, and they went 8-4. So you're literally proving my point.
So let me ask you this. So Warren G, what is your
Warren? He just, I think his internet.
I saw he just dropped. So, but I can still ask the question out loud.
Ask the question. Hopefully, he's listening.
Yeah. So my question is, what is the point in going line by line? Because after you get past the receiving room, I don't think you can say Colorado has the best running back room. They don't have the best.
Oh no, but Phil, guess what? We can go line by line, and it's going to only prove my point because I can just reference
Exactly.
USC the whole way through, and that's it. And USC went 8-4. So Warren,
Exactly.
you're back, right, Warren?
It's cool to have the best
What
quarterback, but you kind of need to have the best team at some point.
what conference was the USC in?
Pac-12. We were all Pac-12 last year, all of us.
Okay.
We was in the same conference, and we're using the same scenario that you're using right now.
But you
and I'm just using.
But you could say that you can also say that the coach from USC never focused on defense, right? That's been the rumor. That's been the logic behind why they haven't been able to win a championship. And they've been doing the traditional way for a minute. They got the matter of fact, the coach is
So
one of the highest paid coaches.
On how we're looking at the Big 12 again? Then is that what you want to do? Because then we can change. We can move the goalpost. Because what you're doing, you're saying, well, let's use these elements. And I'm using a simple argument saying, well, based on your argument, USC had a better quarterback last year in the Big 12. He went number 1 in the draft, right, overall, and they went 8-4. I'm saying 8-4, but you want to use that to tell me that because we got Shedeur, you want to prove you're 10-2. So why didn't they go 10-2? Because of their defense?
Yeah.
And okay, so that means that
they didn't have no defense. They didn't have no defense last year. They didn't have no defense last year. They didn't have no defense last year.
All right. Okay. So what else? Let's go down the line. What else? So you don't have the quarterback argument, and you don't have the wide receiver argument. That's off the board for you.
Okay. Well, we have.
I give you the defense. That's all you have right now.
Okay. So we have the best corner.
And we have one of the best corners because there's 2 corners now.
No, we have the best corner.
Okay, I'll give you the best corner.
Okay, we have the best corner.
Yes, I'll give you Travis.
Now we have a decent line. We don't have to be an Alabama line. We don't have to be. I'm sorry, we don't have to be an Alabama line or Georgia line. We just have to be good enough to get them in and out.
That's 10. That's not 10-2 yet. You're arguing right now. So that means that you're not arguing at 10-2 right now.
Well, my offense is gonna get me through that.
No. Well, I took away your quarterback. I took away your quarterback, right? I'm dissecting your argument right now. If I take away your quarterback in your wide receivers room, then your offense is your team is not going 10-2. Your team is going 6-6.
Okay, if you say that, I got a 10-2. The only
okay, that's what I'm saying. So it's like, yeah, if we go all the way in and break it down, we gotta each team we gotta take their goods and their bads, and we gotta weigh it equally. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
we gotta weigh it equally. So I don't want to go down to Brooklyn and go buy meat, right? And then they weigh the other guy's meat, and he got like 30 pounds, and I'm paying the same thing he's paying for the different weights, and we don't even want to talk about it.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense. You know what I'm saying?
You may be paying the same. You may be paying the same price, but maybe one of those maybe one of those quantities or those meats is the better quality. So you may not get as much, but you're gonna get a whole best. The taste buds are gonna hit a little different when you get that sandwich or get those whatever meat. Pause,
it's the same
no
meat
Diddy.
from the same. Wait, hold on.
You saying it's from a different place, right? Didn't you just say it's from a different place?
No. I said we go to the same butcher. But if we're gonna weigh the meat and I'm paying, he got 30 pounds and I got 22 pounds, I can't pay the same price he's paying for 30 pounds, right?
Okay, all right, that's different.
Yeah.
You comparing 2 different places. My bad.
No, the same thing. That's what I'm saying. So when we're having an argument, we can't say, "Oh no," but I can. What's good for Colorado is not good for the other team. We have a new defensive coordinator. So the argument that I will apply to the new defensive coordinator is going to be learning curves, right? It's going to be making freshman mistakes or new guy mistakes, not necessarily understanding the college game and how fast it goes, but he knows the NFL game. So we got to pull the strings of everything that may transpire and say, okay, well, he's coming from the NFL. That's a plus. But are we just going to ignore the negatives and just count the pluses? No, that's not how we have football arguments. We got to count everything together and say, okay, that's why I always say, hey, Warren, this is why I always say I don't like Paul Feinbaum's. I don't like the people that do these assessments and they just say Colorado's going to lose. They don't necessarily just take all of the strings and pull all the strings and say, okay, this team got Ollie Gordon. This team has Avery Johnson, Jefferson. This team has Shador. This team has Travis Hunter. They're not doing the work. They're just lazy, like, oh, no, they're going to win because they're going to win. Or what you're doing, oh, no, they're going to win because they have a gold jacket. That's not how football is played. Football is not played on gold jackets. Football is played on experience. So that's why I'm like, if I'm going to hold Paul Feinbaum accountable,
so that's what that goes.
If I'm going to hold Paul Feinbaum accountable, I got to hold Warren G accountable.
Yes, sir. Hold me accountable. Hold me to
right. That's what I was doing. That's what I was doing. No, but we kind of we exhausted the whole idea.
yeah.
I'm holding you accountable in the same way by saying let's not approach it.
I'm not saying that these teams that we playing against is not no good teams. That is not what I'm saying. I just say I think I just think that the opportunity it not only from an emotional standpoint feels right. It's the right timing, and the things that they did in the off season prove to me that they want to win now, and that these guys that they brought in is a whole different type of breed of mentality, man, thinking just like we said, that like the hood. You want a hood, brother. You want a hood. You want somebody from the hood with you when you're in the hood. And right now we in the hood. And that's what we got now.
You're making an argument. Your overall they got you're just making an argument for Colorado. I think I understand what your position. You're making an argument for Colorado, not necessarily against any other team. You're just making an argument for Colorado. Right. I get it. But
that's all.
Yeah, that's all it is. You're making an argument for Colorado. From my standpoint, and the way that I like to have football conversations, or I like to push back, because if I feel like if I don't pull the strings, then somebody out there is gonna go away thinking, something that they didn't get all the information. That's my position. So while you're defending Colorado, go ahead.
Yeah, so you make me go do some homework. That's all, on some other teams. That's how we get there. That's how you learn. That's how you build. That's how you get better.
For sure.
And I studied the first two teams, and I skimmed through some other teams.
I'm gonna put this up again.
Based on their roster.
Put this schedule up again. You better learn this.
But I went through their roster. I didn't just go to. I went to North Dakota State roster. I went to Nebraska's full roster, and I compared our players to their players, and I looked at some of their key players that had like the most of something, and I would go back and look at their film, and I would look at our film of the players that we brought in, that some of these guys are coming from the SEC and coming from Big Ten and coming from Big 12 with some experience that just equals or equates to some of the players that they have that's been with them for a while as well. So I'm learning but it pushes me to be more and do some more investigating and some studying on other teams. So I like that, because before Prime came to JSU, I stopped watching football for like over 10 years. It wasn't until Prime came into the picture.
I'm gonna tell you this. All right, you ain't gotta go too far, because the data you're looking for, I've already done those videos. Like I've done videos on most of the teams that are on their schedule, I've looked at their what you said you did, right? You went and you looked at you compared their roster. I did that. So you can watch some of those videos and it'll make the process a little easier for you so you'll understand, like,
Okay.
yeah, because
That's
I
what's
did some
up.
of those videos. If you watch the videos, I'll break it all the way down for you. So no worries to like have to go do the work and do all of that. Just watch the video, and then I think we've done some shows where we've actually gone down their schedule also and compared them. But I've
Yeah.
done videos
Yeah.
where I've compared the actual team's roster versus Colorado's roster.
Okay.
That's
That's what's up.
why I got four. I got four teams. Because I only depend on research here. I don't. The other arguments, I mean, I can get on shows where people just want to like talk, have fun with Colorado on how good we are. That'll be cool. That'll just kind of like be an off day for me. But I like to, because I'm actually gearing up to start talking to guys that are actual analysts in the Big 12, and I actually want to compare. I want to push back on a lot of the stuff, the way that they do their stuff, because a lot of these analysts are lazy people. They don't do the homework. I don't like when somebody just says, "Oh, this team is going to win because they're going to win," and then when you're looking at North Dakota State was good like yesteryears. You're telling North Dakota we should be afraid of North Dakota State because they used to win championships. It's lazy. It's not. It's the same thing they did for TCU. That's lazy. They didn't look at the data. And then we went in there and we beat TCU. That's why I'm like, you know what? Let's pull all the strings. Let's pull the curtain back and see what's really on these teams. That's how I approach this channel. So that when I'm having like, a discussion, I'm like, okay, let's look at Nebraska. I know they brought in a bunch of freshmen, but their freshmen are now sophomores, and their sophomores are now juniors, and their juniors are seniors. So
Right. So the
how good is
the laziness came in when the transfer portal caused so many moving parts. So and through it's hard to get who's gonna end up where until you probably around spring. And then to try to break all of that down, because they're not only doing Big 12, they probably doing SEC, these analysts,
Yeah.
they probably doing the Big 10. So they probably taking all the CF, whereas channels like you, it's a better channel for somebody that's just focused on the Big 12, such as
Yeah,
myself.
I'm focused solely on the Big 12, and in the coming weeks, I'm going to be doing a whole lot of Big 12 content. Because if there's no information for Colorado, I'm going to pull back and start focusing, giving a more perspective on the Big 12. So I think I'm going to be, I guess, broadening my scope for college football, but only focus on the Big 12. So I'm going to be doing a lot of Big 12 content soon. So y'all may not see a lot of Colorado thumbnails. You're going to see a lot of Big 12 thumbnails, because I need to broaden the scope so that people can really get a general understanding of what's going on. Because, you know what people are doing, Warren? People are really like discrediting a lot of Colorado fans, because Colorado fans just want to focus on Colorado. Colorado fans, I don't know if I can call it Colorado fans. I think the Deion fans, right? The BWBs, they just want to focus on Colorado, on just Colorado and our practices.
So I'm from the Midwest, right? And let me tell you, Mississippi historically have strong roots in the Midwest when they migrated from Mississippi. Got me? So when I saw Deion go to Jackson State, it brought me back to where my family started from on one side of my family. So that meant a lot to me, first and foremost. But the fact that he put stuff out there that I can actually see and judge with my eyes. Now, if some of these other programs would allow us to look into, move back the curtain. I'm not saying how far, so I can get used to knowing the players as they should be. Not to say that they're not anything great, but I'm going by what I can see, what is in my, what I'm getting a picture of as well. So I'm visually seeing the transformation of Colorado. They moved back the curtain. So I got to know some of these players. I got to know some of their thoughts, how they think, what they're about, based off what they say. Now,
Mhm.
with that, I'm using that as a part of my analytic skills and saying I got them going 10-2.
But that's what I'm saying. That's exactly where I wanted to caution you in saying, if your analytics is coming from what you see, then there is a danger in your 10-2,
Oh
and I don't
yeah.
want you to be disappointed when you don't see the 10-2
Oh no
because you're
no no
not
no no
seeing
no
the other guy.
no.
You're not seeing
It's
the other guy
it's
practice. So
it's
it's
the
like,
fun. It's the fun in it. It's like me
it is
saying
the
that the
fun in it.
bed.
No,
Right. It's
that's
like
the
me
fan in
saying
you. That's the
right
fan in
right
you.
right right. Exactly. I for 10 years I was not a fan
Yeah, yeah,
of
yeah,
college football.
yeah.
So for me to be excited, I'm in the Midwest, bro. I'm in Chicago. I got hockey, I got basketball, I got football, I got boxing, I got all these things that's bombarding my TV, bombarding
Mhm.
my provincial. Like if you're in New York, Syracuse. I mean, college basketball was it in New York. I used to live upstate New York, and I know Syracuse, Albany, all these colleges, basketball was the thing. It wasn't so much football like
I
it
mean,
is in
because
the
those
South.
teams are not
Uh,
close to those schools are not close to Manhattan. so so so
right,
that's all you
right,
got.
right. Right, Saint. You talking about St. John's? I mean, but you're
Yeah.
talking about all. Well, I guess what I'm saying is we have more things to keep us from focusing
Bro,
on
more people
other
watch the
stuff.
Harlem Globetrotters than than some regular sports. New York has just too much. Like you
Right,
can't
exactly.
boil
My
down New
point.
York to one thing because there's just so much to choose from. So it's just a lot. Like you could go to
Right.
Rucker Park. You can go to Rucker Park and just that could be your basketball. You're like, I don't care about the NBA. I want to go see those guys play. So yeah, it's just too
So,
much in New York.
so Coach Prime got me, and not only because you're a black coach, but I found out that there are other black coaches in college football by just following Prime. I didn't realize that we had a black coach that lived. I can drive maybe 2 hours to go to Notre Dame and see a game.
Mm.
You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah,
I didn't
yeah.
know that.
Oh, you
I
know
didn't
what?
know
I
that.
also start highlighting some of those coaches too because CFB, college bowl subdivision, like has a few black coaches, um, and in my new stretching of my content, I might start highlighting the different black coaches that are actually in FBS. So we'll see. We'll
Uh,
see. I got a
yeah.
lot of things on my board right now. So, but let's close out. Let's close out. We had a great
All
conversation.
right. All right,
And
sir.
thanks for adding to the conversation. But I'm going to challenge you, Warren G. This is not your first time on the show. I'm going to
Know
challenge
that.
you because you said you're going to do some research, and I'm not holding you. You're a fan of Colorado, but I'll challenge you to look at some of the other teams, and you're like it'll open your eyes, not to put fear in you, but to open your eyes
Oh
to
no.
other opportunities.
No, no, it ain't gonna do that. It ain't gonna change. It ain't gonna change my mind about the 10-2, but it will probably change my mind about how the scoring will be. But I
Oh,
am gonna do some more research.
if
I
you
did a
learn
few
about some of
teams.
these other teams' word, that 10-2 is going to change. I guarantee you, if you go deeper into some of these other teams, that 10-2 is going to change. There's no way you keep 10-2 if you learn more about these other teams. Because there's no way. Like I'm telling you, they're a problem. This
Well, I'm
is
gonna
not
look
a
at some
game.
of your content. I'm gonna look at some of your content and see what you
Yeah,
got
this is
out
not
there.
a game. This is not. It's not a game. Colorado's good. But the elements that we have to look at are just there's a lot of other elements that we have to look at. But Colorado is good. I'm not. If I got 8-4, and I'm telling you 8-4 is a stretch, then you already know what time it is. And if 8-4 is a stretch, you know. So,
Okay. Well,
all right, man. Hey,
all
man,
right.
look, I appreciate you always coming on and holding me down. I appreciate you, brother, man. You have a great evening.
You too.
All right, Warren G. All right, guys. So that's all I got for you today. We'll have show on Friday. Hopefully, I may have a college tour coming up, I think. Oh man, I think I got a college tour coming up. So I may not be doing. No, I don't think I have a show on Friday because I'm going to. I may be heading to Virginia Tech on Friday. So yeah. So I may not have a show on Friday, but I might put out a video, and I might put out another video. But hey man, Prime Effect 101. I appreciate you, New Orleans JV. I appreciate you. Thank you so much, guys, for tuning in with me. JR Boxing. You weren't on the show today, but you were holding me down in the comments. Feel so real. My guy Warren G. DC Carson Music, man. I appreciate all of y'all. Thank you so much for holding me down. Always, I appreciate y'all. Surfer Boy 3000, my very first guest on my live shows. All right, that's a special guy to the channel. Appreciate you, man. I appreciate all of y'all. Hey, oh my God, Wild Dog, I haven't seen you in a minute. I'm gonna reach out to you via email. Hope all is well. I hope you're doing okay. So yeah, man. So hey guys, look out. Look out for more broader content from TLP Sports. I'm gonna be broadening my scope as far as content is concerned. Colorado is actually in the second year now. So my channel has never been about breaking news. We've never been about that. My content is more so educating, bringing enlightenment, giving a perspective, trying to make you think outside the box. And I think college football is much broader. So if I'm not breaking news and I'm not giving you Coach Prime news, and which is kind of like far and few in between, then the Colorado content is a little bit stagnant. It's stagnating my growth as a YouTuber, as a content creator. So I'm appealing to you. Hopefully that you guys will also, give me a chance to broaden my scope. I want to focus on the Big 12 only and college football. And then, if the content get really good, obviously, then I'm going to make it even broader. But I want some new guys. I want some new people. I feel like the audience is Coach Prime audience for the most part. But you guys depend more on breaking news than you depend on the style of content that I make. It's only in the evidence in the viewership. What I've realized is that, when I'm talking stuff about what happened on the team, there's a lot of more views. But when I'm trying to provide commentary on football and giving you statistical information that can help you learn or help you as a football fan, I realize that there's not a lot of interest on that. So what that's telling me, based on that data, which I'm a data show, I'm a data channel, based on that data, is just telling me that you are more Coach Prime fans than college football fans. And if I'm just serving you guys, then I've already maxed out my strength. I'm already maxed out. So that means that the channel is done, right? And I don't want the channel to be done. I want to bring in new blood. I want to bring in new faces. I want to bring in new energy. In order to do that, I got to expand myself, and I'm going to be doing that in the coming weeks and months and years, because college football is very exciting, and it's one of the biggest sports in America. So TLP Sports is going to be broadening my scope, covering other sports as well. So I appreciate what you have done for me and how you've blessed me so much. We're going to continue the conversation with Colorado on the live shows, but I'm going to just look for new thumbnails to start showing up on the channel. Hopefully you will support me. If you don't, I understand that you're a Colorado fan or a Coach Prime fan, and that's not what you came here for. But I thank you for supporting me on the Colorado stuff. I will continue to give you that. But if you see new stuff on the channel, that just means that I'm trying to grow. I appreciate you, and I will see you guys on the next video. Get it? See you. Anyways, I'm out of here. Peace out. Have a great night. Thank you for the support. I'm out. We missed Tennis channel. I'm going to reach out to Tennis. All right, guys. I'm out, man. Y'all take care. Y'all like the studio? Y'all like the new look? I had to switch it up a little bit, get a little closer so you can see my face a little bit more. So hopefully you'll like the new look. Anyway, let me get up out of here. Y'all take care. I'm going to see y'all later. Peace.